Welcome to the Wild Magic Podcast bonus episode, Fall of the Shine Brigade. This episode contains explicit content not suitable for the whelps of the Shine Brigade, idealists, and those of weak constitution. A trigger warning and music credits can be found in the description below. The show opens on a wide shot of downtown Sunflower City. The blue-lined light rail streaks across the shot, bisecting a bustling view of tightly packed business people rushing to make it to work by 8 o'clock sharp. The camera shifts right and zooms in to find a work site of sunflower tenders working on the central stem. We hear as the foreman turns up the dial on the radio to blast a talk show debating top flower ball draft picks while the sunflower tenders slowly but surely load up a truck with petal debris. It's a bright, sunny day, and Sunflower City seems in a perfect equilibrium of havoc and well-considered, carefully crafted regulation. The camera cuts to a shot of the Shine compound, where a Tia Tumbleweed in an immaculate powder blue power suit holds her microphone with an incredible practiced poise. Good morning, Sunflower City. This is Tia Tumbleweed with Action 5 News. I'm outside the Shine compound where we're awaiting the 9 o'clock press release with Smith Bellflower. The crowd is restless, and the anticipation is in the air for the Shine Brigade's latest announcement. Experts speculate that the brigade may be announcing the long-anticipated construction of the Southern Shine compound, but it's simply too early to tell. The camera pans up to the top of the Shine compound, where we find not Griff, Michael, Anise, Delilah, and Recklin, but Cody Evergreen, Abigail Hellbore, Richard Oak, Alyssa Astor, and Melanie Posey, the members of the previous Shine Brigade. They are seated around a conference table where a Smith Bellflower tensely leans over a table like a puma ready to pounce. His eyes, almost unblinking, remain singularly focused on the rainbow prism delicately placed on a black velvet pillow in the center of the table. Today is the day that it all changes. It's a day that will live in the solemn ink of every history book printed from this day onwards. We turn now to the Shine Brigade, ready as always to save the world. With the rainbow prism in your arsenal, and Cerulean nearly at hand after decades of separation, years of hard work, you all stand at a precipice. I'd like you all to introduce your characters.
Well, I'd say it only makes sense for Richard Oak to go first out of this group. Richard Oak is the leader of the Shine Brigade, master of green light. He's a tall figure, 6'4", broad-shouldered, barrel-chested, wears a full white spandex suit with an accompanying utility belt, tactical harness, and boots, all white as well. The last accompanying feature on his body, a purple, velvety, flowing cape. He has long, golden hair, straight out of a L'Oreal commercial. Flowing locks of hair, interlaced with small green flower buds and purple-white orchids. And, of course, an insanely strong chin. Richard Oak is an uplifting figure. A strong one. Someone who always wants to help wherever is needed.
Richard, I love you. Oh my god.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you very much. It's all for you.
You say to the person like 150 stories below you,
Oh my god, he noticed me. just the daily crowd of fanboys. And
Yeah, he
girls.
just assumes they're down there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just kind of stand. It's like protesters, but in reverse. You know? They're just kind of consistently
Always
there.
the fan club.
Yeah.
Notice me, senpai.
It's a little paparazzi-esque, but, it works out.
Yes, Melanie Posey is a altruistic, kind, loving, bubbly person. She can typically be found wearing sundresses and all sorts of beautiful and extravagant hats, and she sort of has this demeanor about her where it feels as though you're receiving a hug, even if you're not necessarily being touched at all. She just sort of has this presence that calms the soul. She is the bearer of yellow light and has dedicated her entire life to healing and helping those in need and advancing the science of the yellow shine as much as she can. She can be found most days busy all around town, helping people where she can. And when she's not about town, she's in her laboratory working on all sorts of healing technologies. She, in this moment, looks very nervous.
In not full contrast to Melanie's bright, bubbly demeanor and large, extravagant hats of varying typology, is Alyssa Astor. Now, Alyssa is maybe a little more serious than the general mood of the Shine Brigade members, and maybe a little more socially unaware, but still just as confident and bubbly in some ways as her peer members. She's constantly tinkering with something that she's working on in her hands. She always has a project going, always reading some new report of a science that came back or a new piece of mech tech that she's working on. She is our resident indigo and orange light champion of the shine. Her powers specifically manifest in designing new technology and new mechanical motors and things for the Shine Brigade itself. She works very closely with the toy maker in that regard, where they do a lot of the tinkering and the tech together. And so I imagine at this table, as everyone's very focused on the prism, she's probably looking at some schematics for the prism, right? On like a tablet or something of sorts, where she's going over how it works and every application that she can think of that might be useful for the coming battle. I wouldn't say she seems very nervous. That's not really her MO. Her MO is, even if she is, that just manifests in more focus and harder work on whatever might pop up. I think the only thing in the room that distracts Alyssa from her review of the technology is she's stealing glances over at the person sitting next to her at the table, Abigail Hellbore.
Abigail Hellbore sits in her chair, leaned forward, looking over the table. One foot also on the seat, and her elbow on her knee. She blows a piece of red hair away from her face and has a grin. Abigail Hellbore then stands up, a full 6 feet, 1 inch tall, and stretches back her arms, sleeveless and big muscle.
Mommy? Sorry.
Damn it, Steven, I swear to God.
Abigail Hellbore stands up, full 6 feet, 1 inch tall, and stretches her arms back, full of muscle. She grins, looking down at the battle plans, and thinks to herself, this is the time we get to punch his smug face in. Abigail is the red light user of the Shine Brigade, and she likes to get in close and punch with fists of fire.
Finally at the table is Cody Evergreen, Furbolg of average Furbolg height, still pretty tall for the rest of the Shine Brigade. He wears pretty run-of-the-mill, like, gardening clothes. Mud-covered, holes and patches in places, and just this kind of burlap texture to it all. He is reserved. He spends a lot of time to himself out in the garden around the Shine compound, which he tends meticulously. While he can come off as sort of aloof and disinterested, he is scientific in the way that he approaches the plants of the Shine compound. He would rather not be here right now. I think this is always the part of Shine Brigade duty that comes the hardest to him. His cat Snowball is in his arms, and he's trying to relieve any anxiety he can by petting Snowball. But nevertheless, he knows this is his duty. This is what he's been here all this time to do, and he's here to lend his blue shine to this however he can.
Smith Bellflower stands up and straightens his red satin tie, looks at the Shine Brigade around him, and clears his throat. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to attend this meeting today. Our team really has made some incredible strides this last quarter, and I really anticipate some exciting growth opportunities, and I really need to ditch the corporate lingo, don't I? If it's all right of me even to say, I'm very proud of all of you. You all have done so much, and how much you've grown. I remember the first time each of you came into my office. You were all so young, and now you're leaders. You're luminaries in your field. You're the best damn Shine Brigade Daffodil has ever seen. And now that we have the prism, now that we can make it back to Cerulean, you're gonna change the world. Both of them. I am so proud.
Well, you know that we wouldn't be here without you, Smith. You're as much a part of this team as any one of us are. And we would not be the people that we are without your guidance to have led us there. So, to you and everyone on the team, they put in so much effort for this. Thank you.
You know, I'm not particularly great at receiving compliments myself, but take a dang compliment for once. You don't need to give it back to me every single time, Richard.
Oh, you know me.
Well, one of these days, maybe you'll just take your thank you and take it at face value, but one of these days.
There's no getting to him, Bells.
Probably not, no.
Can't rain on this rainbow.
No. You hear a polite knock on the conference door, and you see as Jill Sargosa and her prep team rush in. This sentimental moment is thrown into chaos. It's a chaos of setting powder as hairspray as Jill Sargosa's crew, her prep team, is in. Jill Sargosa parts the chaos with this uncompromising Eve. All right, good morning. Good morning, everyone. So, seems like we're having something in here, but press conference is in 30. Just gonna have hair and makeup, give everyone a once-over, assuming we're all ready with a speech, right? Perfect, good.
A speech? What?
Did you not see the crowd?
I just assumed that Richard would be giving the speech.
I also assumed that.
I also assumed that.
I haven't talked at any of our events, to be fair.
Well, maybe this time we make it a little different. Maybe Cody leads it.
I have my...
Well, maybe that's a step too far.
Yeah, I thought I wasn't allowed to lead press things anymore.
But
All
Cody,
right, yes, I've had a little bit too many coffees, yeah. After the, yes, the Phoenix incident. Yes, I think we best not do that, but maybe a more unified front. Usually it's always Richard talking. You're incredible at it, but this is gonna go down in the history books. This is a big day.
Yes, I can't be the only face of this. We need everyone on the front lines. So we need to do a unified speech. Each of us takes a part.
If you're able, but if we're not feeling like we're going to be absolutely flawless,
No,
not everyone has to.
I have my 30 backup speeches prepared in my file.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
I just would have appreciated knowing that I had to use them today. I mean, this will be a lot of work later to repair the file, but that's okay.
Okay, well,
It's an important day.
I
It's worth
CC'd
it.
you in an email, but it appears not everyone is checking their inboxes every day, but that's okay.
You all spend too much time pushing paper around.
That's no worries. Well, anyway, hair and makeup should be ready. Seems like we're, well, approaching ready, so just, you'll be great. Really excited for you. Don't screw it up. You won't screw it up. Very excited. So, toodaloo. With that, she kind of walks out, and the prep team, you guys all have like the usual faces. Your prep team, like, you know, James Jackson goes over to Melanie Posey, like, you know, he's your stylist, he's your guy. He like kind of he has a run of it, you know, just the usual.
The usual, yeah.
Ah, yes, of course, and just, you know, you all have your like kind of specific stylists. I mean, many of you guys have been in the Shine Brigades, particularly Richard, for decades at this point. This is just, you know, this is another Tuesday for some of you guys. It's a little bit of routine.
I don't remember the last time I got up and styled my hair.
It's just
It's been done for me since I was 11 years old. When you're public facing, you don't really get too much of a choice in your appearance, you know.
I think Cody's stylist is just like, oh, yep, okay, well, but you know what? The mud is just going to be what it is. I will Tide pen what I can. And, you know, we could just get some of these clods of leaves out of your hair. That'd be great.
I don't think I've ever been this nervous to go to a press conference before. I think it's just the prospect of going to Cerulean. I can't focus on anything else.
I know, Melanie. It's hard. We're all here for you. If you need help, we're always here.
Thanks, Richard.
Look, we're gonna end up going in there. It'll be punch, punch, boom, boom. We'll knock his face in, and we'll be out. No problem.
I'm sorry, about the press conference or about Grandmaster Frown?
Oh. Sorry, my mind's on Grandmaster Frown.
We can't have another repeat of the Phoenix incident, Abigail.
But look, the people want big things to see, right? What was cooler than the Phoenix? I don't think we've done anything cooler. I know Jill disagrees, but
The measure of public safety versus entertainment, you know, I think we just need to find a good balance there maybe this time.
all right.
If I start rambling on about petunias for too long, can someone like stop me? I don't want to.
Cody, last time you did that, it was really interesting.
The commentators on Action 5 News seem to have disagreed.
I can cut in and help.
I don't
I'll keep
understand what's boring about understanding the irrigation of petunia root systems, but the Action 5 newspaper people seemingly did not agree with that. So perhaps we will hold the petunia conversation for later.
It's just when I get nervous, you know, like it just kind of starts coming and keeps coming, and I lose track. I like blank out, you know, like just someone elbow me or something. Come on, that's all I'm asking for here.
This press conference for us who read the docket.
Yeah.
Is this regarding Prism Tech, or is this like a separate like?
This is more of just like this has been very much announced. It's like, this is the day that you guys are going to Cerulean.
Okay.
You're gonna kick Grandmaster Frown's butt. You know, this is like, it's been people. This is a huge freaking deal. Like, you know, so many people are beyond excited. They're gonna go see their homeland again. This decade-long period of unrest is finally kind of coming to an end, and this is a press conference where you're just about to make some final remarks before you go off to depart for Cerulean. The actual email didn't include content about the Prism. I don't think it's necessarily like inappropriate for you to mention it, but it's probably not intended to be like a tech spec for the Prism, more of just like a rah, like everyone knows about the Prism at this point. Like, you cannot escape it in the news. It's honestly kind of exhausting. This is just sort of a last rah speech. They're aware that you're getting there. Exactly the mechanisms of it, no. And like, maybe don't name drop the Prism necessarily, but just like, yes, we found a way through the magic of of magic. This is through the science of magic.
They're just
we
like-
have found a way.
Richard Oak figured a way to fly through space and carry us all on his back, and that's all anyone needs to know.
Yeah, think hard enough.
If you just believe in your team.
Yes. So it's more, they're aware that you're traveling. Everyone knows it's a big deal, but maybe, the exact tech specs, maybe you don't get into that, but beyond that. So as you're all kind of, having this conversation, as your stylists are styling you to varying levels of success, when a stylist gets a text, and okay, we're about ready. Anything else? Everyone ready to go? We need to go down kind of soon. She did not text me on time. That is okay, though. There'll be enough time to go down the elevator, assuming it doesn't take forever again. But okay, all ready to go? We all ready?
Yes, just one last thing. Did you get my song request for the walkout music?
Is this Triumph 2 or Return of the Heroes?
Let's go with Triumph 2.
Triumph 2, that's a classic.
Yes, we'll save Return for the Heroes for our return, obviously.
Very fair enough, yeah. All right, Triumph 2. Yeah, we can get that. Get that in there. All right, Triumph 2. Perfect. Any light color scheme you're thinking? I'm thinking Victory.
Victory would be good.
Okay.
Yeah. Some of those accent lights behind would be awesome as well.
Okay,
Just
yeah.
really set the mood.
Okay, I'll let them know. So we're doing Triumph with maybe like a big wash and the Victory lighting scheme. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that'll be great. I'll let them know. Thank you for that.
Good. Thank you.
Cody, are you intending on bringing Snowball with us, or?
No, Snowball's already kind of like fidgeting, trying to get out as everyone's kind of standing up and doing their thing. It's hard enough keeping Snowball in my arms when I'm getting, the hair and makeup and all the stuff. So Snowball is definitely like trying to get out of my arms, and it's not much longer before I have no choice but to set Snowball back on the ground.
Snowball disappears, actually, into a vent system. Snowball's been sort of known to do this. It just disappears into an unknown, immaculate, beautiful HVAC system.
I didn't even know that.
As Snowball just takes off, Cody just kind of like mumbles to himself, just kind of like, I wish I could go with you.
Yeah. You hear different, like, just... My one animal sound. That's the only animal, and it's in the HVAC now. That's my territory. And with that,
there will be more animals.
Yeah, they'll all go into HVACs. You can't get them in there. That's the DM's realm. You can't touch them in there. You guys, good to go. It seems like you have your walkout music. That's a classic. It's getting really popular on TalkTick now. That particular song.
We're taking the elevator down.
You're taking the elevator down.
I just love this elevator. I love how nothing bad has ever happened in here.
It's comforting, the noises it makes, and the speed it is.
Usually I don't like elevator music, but this one just really does it for me. It's
So well lit and reliable. It's never once failed us.
That's it, sorry.
You can always call it back real quick after it leaves.
You're right. And all the assistants kind of look over like, yeah, that's a great elevator, yeah, Melanie. You see, like, one guy texting, like, Ixnay on maybe Melanie's speech. Maybe we go quicker. Maybe she is kind of starting to ramble, and you see that. And you see that he sees you texting, and then he kind of just, like, puts his phone away. Good stuff. All right, so north, and then we will be out in the entrance, and it seems like Smith Bellflower is... All right, yeah, it seems like he's finishing up. So, yeah, you guys all walk towards the stage. It's like the big press conference stage. You've been here plenty of times before, and you hear the distant, familiar voice of Jill Sargosa. And without further ado, the Shine Brigade! And you hear the start of Triumph 2 with the Victory washlight on. And, you hear the hum of this crowd in your bones well before you see them. I know I called it just another Tuesday before, but no matter how many times you get on stage like this, no matter how many speeches you give, the electric rush of a crowd of thousands of people with their attention turned squarely to you, it never loses its power. So you guys walk on to Triumph 2, an iconic classic. And the crowd is going wild for it.
That's my crowd noise.
That's a good Foley workout.
Yeah, you think it's pretty good?
It's pretty good.
Did I get like the distance in there?
Yeah, they felt like there's a lot of them and they're a little far, yeah. They're waving, you see signs.
Abigail comes out with just a fist up in the air.
Yeah, you
That's
see some people, I imagine Abigail does this kind of walk out a lot.
Yeah. Abigail walks out with a fist up in the air, right?
I'm guessing you're like kind of showing off your bicep too.
100%.
Yeah, sun's out, guns out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's a portion of the crowd that's like, Abigail fan club, and I see them. I make eye contact, right? And then one of them, noticing that we've got eye contact, like her friend goes and does a bit of like just goes and buzzes along the side of her hair.
Yeah.
She's now got a fade, just like Abigail.
Oh yeah.
Abigail's hyped. She's like pointing, like, "Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Look at that! Look at you guys!"
I mean, you know them. They're the Hell Babes.
Yeah, the Hell Babes.
Hell Babes,
The
like
Hell
they are
Babes.
your fan club. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're there and everything. They have like all the jackets.
Like,
they
they're-
match. They have the big sign.
They're pretty cool.
Like, oh yeah, Hell Babes.
Yeah, I mean, they sent me one of their club jackets at one point. I mean, it is cool enough that I do wear it.
Definitely way more fanatical than the Cody crew.
Yeah, Cody crew.
There's just like a group of people with potted plants on the side.
Like way in the distance, not even in the crowd. Just they don't quite want to be in the crowd. Just kind of like watching from afar.
They've just made like Cody's iconic shovel out of like Eva foam, and they like.
Hell yeah.
I imagine Richard has a very standard walkout that he's been doing every single time since he was a kid, where he walks out in his full Shine Brigade uniform. I imagine he walks around kitted out most of the time as well. Like it's a lot of energy and effort to maintain that, but I think it's something he does for appearances. He walks out and he pulls from behind his back a planter that wraps around his left arm, and it slowly starts to grow out. It starts out as green, and then it turns into this yellow and brown, and it grows into this gigantic 2-foot diameter circular sunflower shield. He also pulls out from his sheath the sunflower sword, holding it high as he stands behind the podium.
Oh yeah, and like you have like your mark so well, like the victory light scheme, like there's like already like a spot like right on that. Like you knew exactly where to hit the mark, and like the light just like
sword glints off of it, yeah.
it's like radiant, and like some distant guy in a helicopter's like, oh no, oh shit, he writes himself.
It is amazing, Richard, that you do that 99% the exact same way every single time, with only slight deviations in your facial features.
It's about consistency. People appreciate it. Some things need to stay the same. And then he will store the shield, store the sword, take a step back and line up with everybody again.
Richard usually take the lead.
Did everybody
For the
do their
speech?
walkouts already?
3.
So the great thing about hydrangeas, they just every year more beautiful and beautiful blooms. The wild variety of colors that you can get out of a hydrangea bush is just so stunning to gaze upon as you grow, and propagate new species of hydrangea and crossbreed them with each other. I'm simply baffled by the gorgeous blues and violet hues that I'm pulling out of my hydrangeas this year.
Yes, and these beautiful colors. Thank you, Cody. These beautiful colors are things that the people of Cerulean that live here have missed for quite some time. We gather here today as a point of celebration. Today, we journey to Cerulean.
The crowd. Tears.
We take the fight to Grandmaster Frown.
I think that, Alyssa kind of steps forward into that, being like, all right, pulling out one of her prepared speeches that she has, of course, memorized, but still, reads through really, really quickly before she reads it out. And is like, I have crunched the numbers, I have calculated the odds, and I can see nothing but victory in front of us. But more than just the math and the cold hard facts, I know in my heart something that the people around me have taught me to listen to. That we will be victorious today. That we will unite two worlds that have been too long divided. And that we will bring freedom and light fantastic to both peoples of Cerulean and Daffodil. Be hopeful today and cheer us as we leave.
Crowd also goes well for that. This is going real well. People are hyped.
People of Sunflower, I've been around the world. I've met so many of you, had the pleasure of talking to you individually. I know that the effects of Grandmaster Frown have left so many of you displaced. I know that you miss your home. And while I'm so glad that for just a little while we could provide a home for you here, I know that that's no substitute. I ask you people of Sunflower City to put your hope in me and in the Shine Brigade one more time as we take your home back.
You feel like there is the sound of a crowd, like the same cheers, but as the Shine Brigade, sometimes you have the distinct pleasure, like it's a privilege really, of you can sometimes feel hope made material. It's the most amazing feeling, and it's a wonderful privilege of the Shine Brigade, and I think your takeaway from that is you start to feel just the hope of these people, of this crowd, of this planet, just swell.
For far too long, that Grandmaster Frown has hid in a dark, dank cave up on Cerulean. I say, it's time we smoke him out. And she throws a fist up in the air and releases just a gout of flame upward.
Oh. One of the lights on the rack just gets like, just hear like the glass like break on that as it gets overheated, like tinkle, 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 as the glass shards kind of tinkle down as you've overheated some kind of stage light. The crowd. This is the perfect apex for this speech. You can just feel like the excitement is beyond palpable. After decades of hopelessness, really, truly believe this is the start of a new day. This is the start of a new age.
I was young when it happened, but I remember Cerulean before the day of darkness. I remember the beauty of the mushroom forests. And I know so many Ceruleanites stuck and stranded here on Daffodil since have been dreaming of going back, of seeing their homeland once again. And I swear to you, we, the Shine Brigade, will do everything we can to bring you back home.
Shine Brigade, Shine Brigade, Shine Brigade, Shine Brigade. This chant just overtakes the crowd. The people are at this is near a national holiday at this point. Like there's a couple people going to work, but like, why are you going to work on Shine Brigade Day? This is the day where everything's going to be better. Like, yeah, people are like, maybe you're really phoning it in at work. Like, this is a day of celebration. This is special, and you've captured this crowd. And with that, Jill Sargosa kind of pops her head outside of the wings of the stage. Just we good. Longer. I think we're good. That seems strong. Okay. You guys get back in. All right. And she kind of walks out. Let's hear it for the Shine Brigade. That was special. And now I'd like to talk about some of our back sponsors. Eli Carnation, if you would. And she kind of continues on.
I feel like I'm going to throw up.
You did great out there.
It was wonderful. Your words were perfect, Cody.
I don't know why Richard interrupted you with the hydrangeas. I thought you were really onto something.
I was just going on and on. I couldn't stop myself. The hydrangea bushes is really good this year, though. Like it's.
No, I've been in your gardens. Yeah, I've been checking them out. They're pretty incredible, actually.
Are there red hydrangeas too?
Sure, yeah. You know, usually more pink, but I could see what I could do about getting some red ones when we get back.
Oh, maybe we could do like a full
sounds
Shine
pretty cool.
Brigade hydrangea display right in the front of the building when we get back.
Actually, before we go, Cody, do you think you could help me with something?
Yeah, of course, Richard. What?
I have all this hope and shine flowing through me right now, and I'm starting to see things. I need to get them out. I need to make them physical. I need to make them a part of this world. Can you help me with, cut back the hydrangeas to see what's supposed to be there?
Yeah, sure. I can give it a go.
And sorry, Eli Carnation.
Oh, Eli Carnation's on stage right now. He's you can distantly hear. Yes, the Shine Bright Foundation was founded on a principle of equity and public health. It's,
What a crowd pleaser. Holy
Whoa!
Eli Carnation.
Yeah, it's a bit of a downer after this incredibly exciting speech from the Shine Brigade. Good old Eli Carnation in his like tweed suit, and he's like, "Well," and he's holding his little suspenders, like he's really wowing the crowd for sure.
Why did Eli Carnation follow the Shine Brigade? I feel like that's just like bad stage etiquette for him.
Well,
He doesn't know
he
that.
does. He does a lot of sponsorships, and you don't want to keep him at the beginning, but also he kind of insisted. Eli Carnation. He's a powerful man in Sunflower City. Is a name you can't forget.
I'm gonna kill you.
Too far away, you can't.
Dear listeners, Calvin is in the DM chair, and I am on Outcast Island. So physically, there's nothing that I can do.
No, it's like a whole table between us, and I got a DM screen.
We finally have that Eli Carnation lore. We've been back
Yes.
since episode 1.
He was real, a name you cannot forget. One of the assistants is like, well, if you want to do that, that's okay. This assistant, Jackson Sugar. A lot of Jackson names sounded on the brain. There's they have a lot of Jackson. What can I say? Jackson Sugar looks over like, yeah, you're supposed to go up, for meet Toymaker and I want to say Mikhail Cornarius in a bit.
Yes.
But if you are quick.
we will be quick.
Okay.
I'm very good at this.
Okay. Well, I'll let you get to it.
Richard is just going to lead Cody off to basically the side of the building, and without saying a word, vines start coming out from the cracks underneath, in between the building and the sidewalk, and they start slowly covering the side of the building. They jut outwards at awkward angles, and it's very clear that those are the parts that are overzealous and moving too quickly, and so it's very clear that these need to be cut back. When it is complete, it is a cacophony of these beautiful colors all traveling towards one large blue and black circle. And it's very clear that this is an allegory for the Shine Brigade going to Cerulean. Behind this blue and black circle, we see the smallest bit of a rainbow.
I'll look over at Abigail kind of from, still in the main view of where we started and just kind of seeing Richard off to the side. Is he having another vision?
It sure looks like he is. But this one's bigger than usual.
What do you think it means?
I mean, we're going to Cerulean, that much is clear. I'm honestly just surprised it doesn't show Frown over here, sad as the rest of us. Throw him in some sort of jail cell. Something like the rest of that.
I'm just surprised that it doesn't have your big muscles up there.
Gearhead. You flatter me.
As you channel the Shine, Richard, I would like you to make an insight check.
It's a 12.
They're all, every vision's a snowflake. Everyone feels a little bit differently. And this one just, you've just channeled it. Doesn't, it looks about normal.
Every time I've had a vision before, it hasn't gone quite to plan, but we've made it out the other side. That's exactly how I see this one. We don't know exactly what's going to happen, but we will get through it.
Cody is using blue shine to sort of winnow parts that seem to be growing a little too haywire here and there to try to bring your vision out. But he's just trying to guess. He obviously can't see inside your head. So he's just like, am I doing this right? Is it going the way it's supposed to? Like,
Yes, yeah. That one a little bit longer.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'll get that one. It's okay. Okay, yep. That's about how I saw it.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Richard. I know we've worked on quite a few things similar to this, but I've never seen one so grandiose. It's awe-inspiring, really.
Let's just hope it's a good sign.
While this may be channeling, it didn't feel terribly different than normal. The size of this is noteworthy. You know, this is truly, and you've made a lot of really impressive murals, but this is really one that's just awe-inspiring.
I could definitely feel the shine having come out of me after that as well. I think Richard probably feels pretty exhausted at this point. Like he's just had the energy sapped out of him.
As you kind of step away, you hear Pony Puffy Pants in the back of your mind. Richard, what just happened? Something happened.
Oh, it was just another vision. Where are you, Triple P?
You asked me to stay home today, to tend to my injuries, and I wanted to come to see you off, but you told me that there was nothing to worry about. You told me that we would be safe. If you want me to come, I can come.
No, it's fine. Just every time I've told you to stay home before, you didn't listen. So I assume today would be no different. You must be very hurt. It's okay. We'll be all right, Triple P.
I can come. I want to.
No. We've got this. Just have some hope.
I do. Something feels off. But it's probably nerves, and I should have disobeyed orders. This time, I promised myself I would actually keep orders. I'm terrible about keeping orders, and today I said, well, it was a big enough day. Yes. I'm in my own head, and I'm really looking forward to seeing you again.
I think telepathically Richard feels like a hoof on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Kind of tapping. No. And reaches out and does the same, tapping the open air in front of him. We'll meet again soon, friend.
You saying that does not help with my sense of nervousness. I am going to come.
No. We've got this handled.
They have me strapped down because they do not have a hospital gurney that fits comfortably, but I can break out. I am a horse. I am a unicorn. They cannot stop me. This is not including the fact that I am a magical unicorn. I have a horse body. If I so choose, they cannot hold me down. Richard, do you understand this? I am coming now.
Horse noise!
I was waiting for that.
Yes!
I don't know if you can catch other voices, like it's a speakerphone, like in your thing, but yeah, I imagine you can't hear the, oh no! Pony Puffy Pants, please, your legs are broken. Please, Pony Puffy Pants. I am coming.
No. You must stay. That is an order. If there's one order you must follow, it is that one. It's for your own good. We'll be back, Triple P. We'll be back stronger than ever.
I know.
Don't worry. It's me you're talking to.
I know. I just regret more than... Yes. I shall go back into my gurney. I do not know how. It took a long time initially. It shall take longer a second, I imagine, now that I have broken their trust.
Yes, well, those horse tranquilizers should be kicking in any moment now.
Yes. Then he kind of peters out.
Sweet dreams.
Man.
I'm sure this is gonna end fine.
He's like, I regret more than anything else, but I guess I believe you. Man, I bet that's gonna haunt him. Not to be too glib, sorry.
Now we just get a little insight into what Triple P's thinking every time we see him in the original campaign.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, good morning, Triple P. How are you? And he's just like,
Haunted.
I could have escaped the hospital.
I
should have.
I had broken out already. I was free from my gurney shackles already.
And yet I said, no, I believed him, and I knew something was off, and I broke out of the hospital, and they couldn't have stopped me.
The tranquilizers weren't working that fast.
They made it tranquilizers for a horse, but I am a unicorn.
I could have slowed them down with my green shine.
Yes. All of the tranquilizers immediately concentrate in the horn. It helps. But anyway, so you have this moment with Triple P, and you guys.
Richard, everything good with Triple P? You were talking aloud again.
I did the best I could with his legs, but they were worse than I've ever seen.
Well, I think I finally got him to listen. He's gonna take the necessary rest that he needs to. He did try to break out, but I convinced him to go back.
That sounds like him.
Sure does, doesn't it?
Gotta respect it.
Did you tell him he would only endanger the mission if you were to come?
No, I couldn't tell him that.
That'd be a little harsh, Data Chip, don't you think?
Oh. That would hurt his feelings. Right. I'm sure you handled it with tact.
Don't I always, Alyssa?
This is true.
He'll be sending hope and as much shine our way as he can.
How will he do that when he is presumably tranquilized on a gurney?
It's a complicated relationship we have.
Oh. Okay.
Taking a last glance at this mural that portends, perhaps not the most clearly, but in it's the size of it, the grandeur of it. You can't help but feel every single word that you just said to the crowd, that this is going to be special. This is a start of something new and big and great. Today, the Shine Brigade can maybe, it stands for a lot now, but it's going to stand for a whole lot more once you reunite two planets. And with that thought, you presumably head back into the Shine compound?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I am going to go explore the city now.
Let's go check out Triple P.
Cool shopkeepers around.
Yeah.
I wanna see Cloud
I do
Nine.
love a shopping episode. I am willing to derail my whole one shot. Potions seller.
This is just a typical Tuesday, right?
It's just typical Tuesday, and potion
Yes,
sellers
why
out
would
there.
we fight Grandmaster Found when
Yeah.
we could go to the
Yeah.
department store?
We said
fight
the
him
fall of the
tomorrow.
Shine Brigade. We were just talking about the season.
You can come up with at least 20 to 25 magic items on
Easy
the spot,
peasy,
right?
Easy peasy.
Okay,
They'll be really
perfect.
bad, but I could come up with it. This one gives you disadvantage on animal handling checks.
Whoa. It's like a loud horn.
So you guys enter the
Creased
Shine.
horse riding gloves.
Yeah, right. After your off-screen and off-screen shopping episode, you all enter the Shine compound, and you see the toy maker. You enter the Shine compound. You go up to your cool layer at the top. It's all glass and chrome. It's super sick up there. It's kind of your not bat cave. That's very diametrically opposed to what I'm thinking of. It's your little conference table superhero area. Very cool. You enter that kind of top meeting area you have to see the toy maker, and he is hard at work at the prism. Just getting into it, and he looks at you, kind of waves. Hello. Okay, finishing up the optomical calibration. It's really been falling out of process tolerances, honestly, after just a few days of downtime. Sensitive piece of equipment, but can't say that's too surprising, given the muscovite dampers and... wanted to let you
me to
know.
take a look, or do you have it covered?
Oh, I most certainly...
Are you
Thank
sure? I can take a look. I don't...
No, Chris, please. But I did have a chance to tune up your weapons, actually. If you want to get those, they should be over there in the corner. Maybe give those a look over. I'm just checking on the calibration.
I'm sure Aster could help you.
It's a calibration. I think it would be unwise to have multiple people working on it.
Yes. I don't want to step over your toes.
No,
suppose I'm
it's
just
not
nervous
that. It's
for
just
the upcoming mission. And
it's calibration. I'm sure you understand. It's sensitive and
all right. I'll take a look at the weapons while you finish that.
Perfect. Yes. By the way, just wanted to tell you, really, this is all very excited for you all. Daffodil is not going to be the same after this. Very excited for all of you. Just start of a new era, right? Well, I'll let you get to the weapons. And he just goes over and starts continuing to, from what you can probably tell, calibrating.
Thank you, Toymaker.
Of course.
Go check out the weapons.
Yeah, and it's, they're your standard, like, you don't notice anything. I guess you can give him, like, a little 1-2. Seems like he's put little spit shine on a couple parts, remove some bits of rust, bits of unmentionables and other nasty stuff that sometimes gets caught on them weapons. They're a little looking shiny and ready and, like, absolutely most pristine and wonderful.
Hey, you repainted my ankle condensers. Dude, these things are looking sweet.
Oh, yes? You like I added a new, a carmine red. I thought it was a bit more poppy.
Yeah, no, dude. This is gonna look awesome. When I'm flying up there, those explosions condensed and then made into jetpack feet, I'm gonna look sweet, especially against those backdrops.
Oh, yes.
Looking forward to it.
Ah, well, if only I could be there.
Are you sure you aren't going to miss any of those scratches or dents on your old ones?
No, I'll put new ones in.
So as you're looking at these, not even upgraded, he just gave everything a spit-shined weapons. You see Mikhail Cordinarius enter. He's wearing a crisp navy suit. Mikhail Cordinarius, ever austere, breaks form ever so slightly by daring to adorn his plain suit with a single cerulean flag pin. Quite the deviation for him. He is flanked by a very solemn-looking Jason Ivy, who carries an over-engineered Cordatech branded toolbox and laptop, and it's like the laptop is surrounded in enough casing that you can kind of believe that this could like survive a fall off a 4-story building and probably make it. It's layers upon layers upon layers of over-engineered laptop safety mechanisms. Mikhail Cordinarius' face is definitely a stark contrast from the energy of the crowd before you. It's like his face is carved out of stone. I understand you intend to visit Cerulean today. Visit Inoki, or visit Grandmaster Frowned. I am here to assist in the maiden voyage of the Prism, if you'd allow me. This is our first transplanetary operation with the mechanism, so while I have faith in all of you, best to be safe, yes?
Yes, absolutely. Although with enough hope, we can accomplish anything.
You see as Mikhail Cordinarius, and really honestly, Mikhail Cordinarius, but like 90% Jason Ivy, just like the toy maker's like working on the prism, and just you see his face go blank as Jason Ivy and Mikhail Cordinarius just totally steamroll over whatever the heck he was trying to do over there. And the toy maker just doesn't even really put up an argument with this. It's Mikhail Cordinarius and Jason Ivy. Like, there's no arguing with this. You see him kind of like resignedly put down some of his tools and slightly roll his eyes as if they're going to steamroll over all of his wonderful calibrations and slightly do it differently because, God, Mikhail Cordinarius, always his way, right? Always his way. Our collaboration, yes, no, it's Mikhail Cordinarius tech. It's always Cordinarius. Just kind of walks out and excuses himself from the room. All right. Jason, please. And Jason kind of hands him out tools and they get to work.
Mikhail, would you like my help calibrating that?
Yes, actually. That would be very helpful. Thank you.
Really? Okay, yeah. And I think Ellis going to go over there and just start tinkering and like pull out some kind of device to just like scan the prism and then like show that to Mikhail. Be like, yes, do you concur?
Yes. Jason, if you could turn on the refractometer, I'm seeing the reading there. That is steady. That is freakishly steady. You guys must have one hell of an HVAC system in this place to keep the air temperature in the room so uniform. All right, well,
Of course. I mean, from what we understand with this prototype, any slight deviation in temperature could throw off the thing. So we actually reconsulted
Rick Green.
Ricky G.
My best friend.
and making sure that this room would be as temperature stable as possible for today.
Gosh. honestly, kind of wasn't expecting it to be this uniform. Maybe we should. I'm thinking turning on optomical engagement triggers, OT 43, 46, maybe?
Perhaps 47, 48, actually?
I'm worried. Alright, let's give it a go, but I am not sure. But
Well, I am. I did the math a few days ago.
fair enough. I suppose we can attempt that maneuver. Alright, well, looks like we're actually still a bit over damped thanks to this HVAC. Maybe turn the proportional gain up a touch?
That would make sense. I think you could also do it by changing the orange light.
We could do that, but that's a little bit less studied. It would be better if we have an overdamped signal to just change the proportional gain instead of potentially throwing the entire calibration off. But if you're the Shine Brigade, perhaps you know best.
It is your creation, but I think I'm right. In fact, science would suggest, and if you want to look at my numbers, and starts pulling out like a notebook full of notes. And you can see here on line 45 where I took the calculations of the orange light and violet light balance, and look at how they interact. You'd think it would be red, right? But it actually more depends on the amplifiers on sections 34 and 35.
Yes. The output is acceptable.
Can I talk to Jason Ivy?
Oh.
Yes, you can.
Hi, Jason.
Hello.
How's the knee treating
Melody
you?
Posey. A wonderful day to see you indeed. It's always a wonderful day to see you, but seeing wonderful you on a wonderful day like this, why, it makes it wonderful squared.
You're too kind, Jason.
Ah,
I just wanted to ask how your knee's doing.
oh, you know. I suspect we might have a storm, a light storm, in the next 2 days. I can feel it in the knee, but apart from this meteorological abnormality, the knee is doing well. Thanks to you, of course.
Yeah, I know you insist on me not healing it fully because of that rain thing.
It's important to be aware and to... Well, first of all, not just for the rain, it's important to remember. The body remembers, and so shall I remember the body, yes. Additionally, yes, it is a huge tactical advantage to know when it shall rain. I would forget to have an umbrella for Mikhail Cordinarius otherwise.
Well,
I do not believe in having an app on your phone for the weather. You should be able to sense it or anticipate it. Relying on technology that can be taken over by adversaries is unwise.
When you're knee deep in the jungles of Cerulean,
You don't have the weather app. You must rely on old scars to tell you when the storms are coming.
Yes, this dirt tastes like dirt.
well, Jason, as always, if you change your mind, I'm here.
Yes. I am excited for you all. This is a big day for all of us. I am wearing 2 Cerulean flag pins today to show my excitement.
I noticed they look really stunning.
Don't they? Well,
And if you don't want to keep doing this, then
I can. I wasn't ready, even though I'm in the room. I just thought he'd go unacknowledged, and that was foolish of me. Like, you're not going to talk to Jason Ivy. Like, what? Yeah, of course.
I wanted to ask, since we're going to Cerulean, did you have any advice about the topology of Cerulean, about strategic things that we might do there once we land?
Strategy? Understanding something out of a book, whatever I could tell you. I'm sure it would have some help, some insight. But the most important part of being ready for Cerulean is being ready in your bones for enemies at every turn. Coming in, I feel telling you of the terrains of the wonderful falls, the waterfalls of Agnamar, or the mushroom forests of the east. I could describe these things. But the only important thing is you need to understand. Make sure you have a good unit around you. You watch their back, they'll watch yours. There's an enemy at every corner. Make sure to lean around it, but not too much, or you could get caught. Beyond that, I hope you brought, like, gaiters. That is actually practically, do you have gaiters? Like water gaiters.
Oh, water
Not like
gators?
snappy, but to ensure that, because wet socks kill. Wet socks have killed. I have killed with wet socks.
You know, I was just planning on wearing my normal stuff, but
Oh no. Hold on. I think I always carry a spare. And you see, as he somehow deploys 2 large, like, water gators out of his, like, suit jacket. And you see for the smallest glimpse of a moment, as it seems like he has a number of, like, oddly labeled different, like, pockets in his suit of just, like, emergency rations, flashlight, flare. He just pulls out the gators, and there you are.
thank you. Well, that's so thoughtful, Jason.
They probably are far too large for you, but perhaps it will be helpful.
It's probably better than nothing, right?
Keep your socks dry. If you think your socks are going to get wet, remove them. Wet feet can dry. Wet socks take a long time on Cerulean. It's very humid.
Is that foreshadowing?
Yeah.
And this is how the Shine Brigade travels.
You notice that your socks are perhaps feeling a little bit damp.
Yeah. I'm gonna,
Take 'em
yeah.
off. Taking
Leisurely
all off.
moist.
Taking all my clothes off.
The gangrene sets in.
The gangrene sets in quickly.
Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, right.
DC.
2 points of exhaustion from wet
25.
socks. Yeah, so Jason Ivy just kind of, all right, I am needed. Yes, and he kind of goes over and gives Mikhail Cornarius a tool. Wet socks, though, do not forget. Looking at you.
I won't.
Right. Well, and he kind of goes in, helps Mikhail Cornarius and Alyssa Astor calibrate it, have their conversation. It seems like they're about to wrap up, like, it's mostly there, but it is a delicate piece of equipment, and it is prone to needing calibration day of, but beyond that, it seems like it's pretty much nearing ready to go. I would say, is there any last actions you would like to do before you ready the prism and, get ready to travel to Cerulean?
Melanie's going to talk to Smith real quick. She's going to hand him a yellow crystal.
Why are you handing? You need this. I don't.
It's still just a prototype. We're going to a new planet, and I know that Richard says it's a sure thing, but if there's one thing I've learned, it's that nothing is sure. And so, if anything were to happen, this is my life's work, and if you could just make sure that it ends up in the right hands. Hey, don't look so glum. It's gonna be okay. Like I said, Richard is really confident about this.
Yes, It's hard not to be glum when you talk like that.
Sorry.
No, it's. I hope I'm wasting my breath in saying this, but, my dear, I promise. Nothing will happen, but if something happens, I promise I will pass your life's work on. I promise I will maintain the Shine Brigade to the wonderful legacy all of your team has brought it to. But I'm wasting my breath because you're going to come home to
Because
me.
we're right. It's going to be fine.
You're worrying me like this.
I'm sorry. It's just you have to be prepared for every contingency, right? Even if it's not likely.
Yes.
And I know that you're a worrier.
Yes.
I guess it's kind of your job, but have some faith in us.
I do. You handing me this. But I have more faith in all of you than I have in myself. I meant it when I said I was really proud. I was proud of you all. I am so proud. All of this. I feel really lucky. I got to know you. I got to know everyone, but I got to know you. Looking forward to holding you tight as you come home from Cerulean, having saved 2 worlds. And I'm not going to let you go for forever. And we're going to finish the last season of
No, don't give it this steak.
the Great Daffodil Bake Off. We're going to finish it all. I'm not going to hear anything else.
I know I've been promising you forever.
Yes, you're going to promise.
I
We're going to
just-
finish it. It's going to be a great day. And I'm looking forward to it.
Melanie is just gonna place a hand on his face and sort of pull him. Not in a shovey way. Yeah, she's just gonna fucking whoop-ah, whoop-ah.
I'm sorry. I thought that was so
This is
funny
true
for some
love.
reason.
Yeah.
Just face.
Psh, just like one hand fully over the nose.
Yeah.
You are
Put a
blind.
thumb in that mouth. We
I
are in love.
I have given you your stone, and you must give me your nose.
What's this?
This is sacred tradition in Sunflower City.
Right, yes.
I have your nose, and I have your nose.
You have my sword.
Yeah.
So
We shall know our way back to each other by scent and scent alone.
That's so romantic, you guys. Okay, so Melanie is going to place a hand on his cheek and sort of feeling the wetness of tears is just going to place her head against his head. I'll see you soon, okay?
You're my rock.
And you're my flower.
Oh my god, we're retconning the whole campaign. I'm out.
20 more episodes. 20 more episodes of this.
And tears in his eyes. But he wipes away. I mean, appearances are important. Can't be crying. On a momentous occasion like this, he smiles back at you, lovingly. And I'm keeping you to the bake-off part. And he, lets you go on to do your wonderful things. Having said your goodbyes, many of you, having seen the impressive mural that predicts, that foretells, that portends a great victory, some of you have very few goodbyes to give. Shine Brigade, you are tasked with traveling across the cosmos to land upon a planet not touched by anyone on Daffodil for over 15 years. It's a monumental, seemingly impossible task, and it's one that holds the fate of 2 worlds in its grasp. Mikhail Cordinarius places the prism in the center of the room, and as you hear the prism whir alive and see the crackle of condensed shine streak across the room, how do you engage the prism?
I think being taken aback a little bit, Richard looks over to Alyssa to confirm that this is maybe supposed to be happening before he advances.
I think on Alyssa's face you see kind of an insane almost glint in her eyes and like a maniacal grin. You know, she's been working with the toy maker and Mikhail, of course, on this project for a long time. And in tests, this is where it usually goes wrong. You know, this is where people, instead of transposing to a different location, maybe transpose into pieces or into puffs of smoke or flame or frozen cubes. But hey, the fact that everyone's still standing here and no one is a pile of ash yet, that means that it's working. And that means that they've succeeded again. And Alyssa gives a little laugh. It's ready. Are you guys ready?
Richard will dramatically look to his left, dramatically look to his right, hold out both of his hands to Melanie and Abigail next to him, indicating them to do the same for Cody. And
Melanie's gonna walk up and take Richard's hand. I'm ready.
Abigail takes your hand. We got this. Together.
Alyssa gives Mikhail Cordinarius a firm handshake, steps away, turns toward her team, and joins the circle without looking back.
Cody gives a sigh and is just like, ugh. Typical Tuesday, right? And he'll put his hand in.
Just another Tuesday.
Veggie Shack when we get back.
Veggie Shack when we get back.
Mm-hmm.
At 9:29, second day of autumn, the year of fire, the Shine Brigade departs for Cerulean. They travel across the cosmos on a streak of wonderful light, with nothing but hope for a better future. At 9:29, Cody Evergreen, Abigail Hellbore, Alyssa Astor, and Melanie Posey see Daffodil for the last time. The travel is instantaneous. One moment, you're saying your last word on Daffodil, Veggie Shack. One moment, you're overlooking the beating heart of downtown Sunflower City through the windows. The next, you're in a dilapidated pavilion in a dimly lit city park. Cody Evergreen, the Cerulean that lives in your mind. The Cerulean of your childhood. It was always a place of calm, of peace, of gently droning insects and deep pools of cool water. It was the smell of clove candles and petrichor. Before you came here today, you steeled your heart. You steeled your mind for what you thought might be the worst. You forced yourself, as hard as it was, to try and remember that day of chaos, that day of fear and of terrible loss. But what you see before you now betrays the image you held in your head of a peaceful Cerulean far more than the day of darkness ever could, because you see decay, irreparable rot. A horrible feeling sinks over you as you realize there is no rebuilding of what little stands now. The only option going forward would be to dredge out the rotten remains and to start entirely new.
I think this has a really profound, emotional experience for Cody, because on the one hand, it's just devastating. It is so polar opposite, not only to what day-to-day life has been over the past several decades back home on Daffodil, but it is the polar opposite of even what he remembered in the limited time that he had before on Cerulean. But he also is very in touch with blue shine and with decay. Being in touch with decay, Cody knows that decay is just another stage of life. That the wheel turns and from rot you get new growth. It's impossible to face the loss that has happened here, given the responsibility he feels to make this right. We need to succeed today. This whole planet, he looks around, it depends on us.
Cody, look at me. Have I ever let you down?
Cody mulls that over, thinks pretty closely, but with all the emotions surging, no, of course not.
He did get you the wrong order at the Veggie Shack last time we went.
Alyssa, not helping.
Oh, sorry.
You know that we're here with you until the very last step. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Cody, as you look around, the reality of your task hitting you, I imagine hitting everyone in the party. Realize you've been here before. This is the Promenade of Progress. You used to go here as a kid all the time. You took field trips here. Your mom used to take you here once a week, and as you walk through the Promenade of Progress, you see all the bronze statues you used to look at with excitement as a kid, of famous Cerulean artists and architects, which held the hope of a bright future. And see them deteriorated and rusting, standing around as nothing more than ghosts in the thick mist. You walk as if you're in a nightmare, hairs bristling on your neck.
I think I'm almost instinctively drawn to my last memory of being on Cerulean. This bridge that sort of connected the Grand Promenade to the kind of like entrance point of this district. I just like so desperately want to find any hint of civilization still, of society. I think Cody has been holding out hope for all these years that maybe somehow the people that he remembers not making it have carved out a life for themselves here, are still around, are still okay. I don't know, perhaps you can tell me, but I suspect he finds nothing to reassure him.
Yeah, it's, perhaps not a hard task, but a weighty task. Trying to find signs of life, well, apart from the mushrooms, of course, and the rot, but any life that you knew before the sights of bronze statues sometimes catching the corner out of your eye. Oh, is that someone? No, it's just a statue. Overgrown billboards and advertisements and signs proclaiming, "Ride the Boschka funicular, the world's longest, steepest, most exciting funicular. See the gloom core with your own very eyes." You remember riding that funicular as a kid. It would break down frequently. You never actually made it to the gloom core. It broke down so frequently they actually had to evacuate you out. It's funny now that you're seeing it with everything else gone. Maybe today's the day you're going to see the gloom core. Huh. But no life is found.
I think I know how to get us to the gloom core.
You do.
Yes.
You know he's there?
I don't.
At the very least, I think it's a good place to start.
I will begin leading us towards the funicular.
Yes. Does everyone know what a funicular is, by the way?
No idea.
Is it
Okay.
Is it like a train?
Yes,
Kind
it
of,
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a train and a cable car.
Yes, yes, a funicular. Yeah, it's a cable car in a very steep incline. I'm saying this for the party listeners. I'm sure you're very well aware what a funicular is. Is there anything else? I guess while Cody, you for a moment, Cody spends
Yeah, really taking it in.
really taking it in. What do you guys do?
I want to check on the prism now that we're here.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, regardless of how this goes, this is supposed to be our way back. So I want to make sure that it's calibrated, or at least check it, how it's working after kind of like this first real test of its powers.
Yeah. Can you make it's like definitely an intelligence based check. What do you think would be most appropriate for this?
I think this would be in Arcana, so a shine check.
I would agree.
Come on. That is a unnatural, or a 19 overall.
Okay. With that, as you inspect it, it's a sensitive piece of equipment, and while this was a successful transportation to Cerulean, it's at first you think it's just out of calibration. It's a little bit worse for wear, but it seems like an amount of material damage has been incurred. And with a 19, you've read over the deviation investigation logs for the failures associated with the prism. You're more or less aware of a lot of its failure modes, and this is certainly a little abnormal. The way it failed, there shouldn't be. Why is there a burn mark here? That doesn't make any sense. Why is it by the dampener? It's possible, but seems improbable.
I think immediately I assume I must have missed something in this last check with Mikhail. I must have missed a polynomial somewhere in my math. I must have miscalculated some small part of some of the many, many equations I've been working on. But I probably wasn't Mikhail making the mistake. So this was probably my mistake. It must have been. You know, maybe he was right. Maybe it should have been 43 instead of 48. I have to at least fix this to some degree. I think I turned to the other members of the Shine Brigade. Wait. Before we go, we might not have a way off the planet for at least a few days. Maybe we should stop for a while and work on this. It seems risky to keep going.
Alyssa, I know that you want us to get home, but we have a job to do. These people are relying on us. They've been waiting for us for over a decade at this point. I don't think we should waste any more time. I think it would be selfish of us to do that.
I suppose logic dictates that we would also be safer on the planet if Frown was dead. Maybe you're right. Yeah, it'll be fine. I'll work on it after the battle.
Thank you, Alyssa. Let's follow Cody.
I will lead the way.
I think I'll pull Abigail aside as we're walking toward the funicular. I think I made a mistake. I don't know where, though. And I don't have time to go check all the math, but look at this burn mark. That shouldn't be here. Why is the dampener malfunctioning? We've never had this happen in a diagnostic report before.
Look, I don't know why it's doing something different, but it's never gone this far, right? Never gone remotely this far. I'm sure you did just fine.
What if we're trapped?
If we're trapped, we got each other, don't we?
Okay.
I got you. Don't worry. You're safe with me.
You promise?
Promise.
All right, hothead. Don't let me down.
You got it, grease fingers.
What is it? Grease fingers. That's
Sometimes
romance.
they don't. Sometimes they don't.
I like grease fingers.
I like that too. Yeah. It's like kind of raunchy in the right way.
As you walk through the promenade of progress, trying to dispel the nagging thought in the back of your head that the prism is broken, trying to dissuade that nagging thought with, well, we can fix it. Trying to believe, yes, we can fix it. You make your way through the remains of the park, removing the minor overgrown fungus and general debris that stands in your way. You make your way to the Bushkova funicular. And as you approach it, it was clearly the big attraction of the park. There are signs everywhere, and at all points there's a really clear queue line up towards it with decimated velvet rope dividers directing excited children, school children, and their parents down the funicular. You pass through it, and you see the ornate doors leading to the funicular shaft.
So right through these doors, Cody?
Yes, this is the way. It should just be straight down here. If it still even works, I don't know.
I'm sure if anything's broken, Alyssa can figure it out. Or Abby can just punch it.
I think I could punch it pretty good.
We know you can punch it pretty good.
Thanks, Richard. I know you got my back.
So as you open the shaft doors, boom! A breeze rolls in from behind you, raising all the hairs on your neck, and you hear the low growl of the wind echo and disperse down the shaft into the deep recesses of the planet. You can kind of, from the dim light above you, see the outline of a funicular car. The light catches the remains of gilded filigree applied generously to the wood exterior of the car. I mean, even as it stands now, sitting unattended in the dark for decades, the craftsmanship that went into this is obvious.
What is that smell? It's dark. I don't know how else to describe it. I only remember smelling this when we defeated the Academy.
It's petrichor, mycelium.
It reminds me of despair. I don't know how else to put it.
Well, you said it yourself, right, Richard? Like, we got this.
Yes, of course. I was just curious about the smell. That's all.
You think they would just leave a passage to the core of the earth completely unguarded? Maybe we should look around for a moment.
I mean, we were expecting his armies, weren't we? They've got to be around here somewhere.
You sound like you're looking for them.
Well, look. I'm just saying it's weird that we haven't seen him already. At least that's my feeling.
I'll roll an investigation check.
For sure. And are you looking for, like, what are you trying to investigate specifically?
I'm looking specifically to see if I can find any, like, hidden people watching us or spy cams or, you know, like anything that might give away that we're being watched right now.
Okay.
And yeah, specifically, I think Alyssa in particular would be looking for, like, people and cameras, you know, the technology and then the obvious one.
Yeah.
And so that is going to be 14.
All right, with a 14, as you're looking up, you get a gander on, like, the pulley system of the funicular. It's looking a little worse for wear. You kind of pass by it, but it's intact. You're looking for cameras, and you do find one, but it is covered in mushrooms. It is doubtful that it is functional. And you probably investigate it further, I imagine?
Yeah.
As you open it up, maybe it's a decoy. It just, you remove it of just, like, dust and spores. This is not a functional camera. This was a camera at one point, but this is not helpful anymore. And with that roll, you're not able to find anything else.
Here, Alyssa, wear this. Passes you a mask.
Oh.
For the spores.
Yeah, I suppose I probably should have put this on first, huh?
Keep those lungs healthy.
Well, I can't find anything. But I don't like it. We should be careful.
They might just be deeper in. You know, I'm sure if we could really get this thing going, we'd punch a hole straight through whatever's waiting for us at the bottom.
The funicular?
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Wouldn't that be at least fun?
Fun, yes. Dangerous, also yes.
And it would clear a path for us to get straight to Frau. If they're not up here, they've got to be down there, if he's at the core at all. And the last thing his armies are going to expect is this big hunk of metal heading straight in their direction, no brakes attached. I just think it could be fun.
I think it's an unnecessary risk.
I think the prospect of fixing old technology and mechanical pieces is particularly alluring to Alyssa, and she's like, well, hold on. I could probably fix it up pretty good. And that seems safer than just walking down there with nothing.
All right. You can look at it, but do me one favor. Can you please make sure that the emergency brake works?
Yeah. I'll go see if I can work on the funicular.
Oh, I love it when she gets that look in her eyes.
Yeah, so give me a roll for that. That would probably also... What do you think? I see now, Xander. What do you think? And I will accept your
I
answer.
think everything is a shine check, actually.
Everything is an HVAC check, though.
Yeah.
It is an HVAC check.
I'm gonna say investigation.
Okay, that feels right.
Yeah. There's no shine here. These are just blood, sweat, and craftsman tears.
That is gonna be a 12.
With that, I mean, you know, as you were looking up before, you're able to kind of assess and you revisit the pulley system. It seems intact. The cable is taut. It's a little bit rusted, but it's taut. It actually is holding up better than you would have thought. It's pretty clear that if you live on Cerulean long enough, you have to waterproof things quite a bit. So even if this was fully and lovingly attended, it's very damp here. So everything is kind of made with that in mind. So it's It's worse for wear, but it seems to be pretty fine. And as you kind of investigate the controls, it's like a simple break, go, break, go mechanism. So easy user interface, kind of quaint almost. No go and go. All right.
Oh, it's okay. So adorable.
And with the 12, you're able to give it like a brief like, they get start stops. Two, it honestly probably doesn't need any massive tune-up. It seems like it's oddly functional right now.
Yeah, I'll slap a quick mending
Yeah.
on. Yeah, just use a little cantrip mending on
Yeah.
whatever parts are looking a little greasy or rusty or broken. Mix
Yeah.
it up a little bit, walk around it a few times, kick the side of it a few times, make sure doors aren't gonna fall off, and then, it actually looks remarkably good. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that it stayed intact so long. Cody, you didn't tell me there was such good engineering on this thing.
I didn't know. I was only a child back then. I still don't really even think about engineering very much. It could all just be gears and springs in there for all I know, but it worries me. If I'm honest, it seems like it's maybe been used a little more than we wanted to admit.
Well, do you think we should write it down? Or should we walk?
Look, if it's been used by Frown and his people, all the more reason to send it down going fast. Just saying. We can follow after.
I understand. At the moment, we do have an element of surprise. A small one. But if we announce our presence like that, we lose that advantage. Rather than make a grand opening, like we did earlier today, perhaps this time we should be a little bit more sneaky. Scope things out. Come up with a plan once we know how many are down there. How strong they are. I think we can ride the vernacular at least part of the way. When we get close, maybe we can stop and walk up closer. Does this sound amenable to everyone?
Yeah.
Less of a cool entrance, but I guess we'll make do when we get there.
I'm sure you'll have plenty of cool things to do, haven't you? You always do.
All aboard?
All aboard! First sign of trouble is I want you to stop this thing. We're gonna get out.
All right. Emergency brakes fully intact.
Well, not
Oh.
emergency brakes. Start stop.
Stop.
Now, I'm not saying you could use it in an emergency. It'll work, but this thing has forward and back. Go forward. Stop. Just a point of housekeeping. That's all.
Noted.
Thank you.
Oh man, I'm nervous and I know what's gonna happen too. Ooh.
Is it forward stop?
Well, don't say that. Now
reverse?
No.
Okay, team. I know things are dire and I know things look grim and this planet is not looking great, but we still have each other. Now, an ounce of prevention can prevent a ton of injuries. So, before we get down there, let's do some stretches.
Thank you, Melanie. And Richard is not going to do stretches. He's going to stand off in the corner and look at himself in a small mirror.
Can we do stretches on the cart?
Assumedly.
Come on. We can do this.
Cody's gonna start stretching, and as he goes down to touch his toes, he notices a really unique mushroom that you can't find, and he's gonna kind of pick it and put it in a little pocket in his coat with some soil.
I mean, you just went off into a corner and
I assume we're all on. I assumed that we had all gotten on.
Oh,
Yeah,
you've all gotten
we've
on?
all gotten on.
No.
Oh,
right.
well, I don't know anymore.
No, I don't know. I thought
No,
you're doing
no,
stretches
yeah.
outside. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You're
We
all
all
on,
got
and
on.
nothing happens. It's fine. I'm not gonna... So you guys all...
goes to shit.
Yeah. Oh my god, you guys got on it. My funicular that I'm so proud of. You've entered it. You've entered my trap. No. The funicular it's really it's really cute inside. There are remains of paintings of famous places that you would take a kid to, all the famous parks in the area, and museums, and the big play place they have in their West Central Park. Like, it's all there. It's just kind of like a fun kid funicular, and it's melancholic to see, to walk through. Imagining all the kids that must have been sitting on this, going down, writing it, having a good time. Remembering yourself, Cody, having a good time on it. Who controls the start-stop switch?
Yeah, no, I got that.
Okay.
Yeah, Alyssa's on that.
Alyssa's on it. And so with that,
Hey, Alyssa, before we go, can you help me just stretch this one out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, come on. Sit on the ground. Yeah, feet against my feet. Yeah, and we'll just grab our hands.
Oh, I think I'm gonna
Yeah.
pull something if we keep doing this.
No, it'll be good. We just hold it. Hold it. We don't have to go any further.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I feel it. Oh god.
Okay, good. And let go.
As we're headed down as well, I would also love to cast Detect Shine,
okay.
which allows me to detect shine within 30 feet.
All right. Good to know.
If we happen upon an object or...
You detect this barest whisper of just like percolating, concentrated bloom bubbles just traveling up from the chamber. But beyond that, nothing stands out.
Richard, are you okay?
Yes, I think we're headed in the right direction. The smell is getting stronger.
I know that's really stressful, but I've just never seen you off.
You think I'm off? I'm off my game?
No, you just seem worried, and I know the fate of 2 planets is a big burden to carry, but I just wanted to make sure that you're doing okay.
I'm fine, Melanie.
Okay.
I appreciate you looking out for us.
Of course.
You always do.
I'm here if you need anything. Anything at all.
Of course.
Melody's gonna kind of do that thing where she like holds his gaze for like a second longer than would be normal, and sort of decides to let it go, and will return to the group.
Hey, Abby. You want to see how fast this thing can go?
Yeah.
And I'm
Do
just
you
gonna
mind?
slowly, as they're talking, start cranking it faster and faster.
Yes.
And everyone, before it was just funicular. It's very sweet. And you can see, like, there's, like, lines on tape, like neutral, stop, on the back, like, read out. And then there's, like, normal pace, employees only pace. And then you take it 2 knocks above employees only pace towards do not go. Do you take it any further?
I look over at Abigail, like, should I do it?
She is like wide-eyed and grinning.
I push it a little bit further and just see what happens. It's science, you gotta test it out.
Absolutely. So before, as it starts...
Abby runs to a window, like just a broken window that's been there for ages, and like sticks her head out excitedly.
Yeah, so it slowly...
It's going so fast.
Yeah, it starts picking up some serious speed. You actually get the impression that it's more or less just now a funicular car on a very steep shaft straight towards the core of the world.
Oh, is it supposed to be going
Perfectly
this...
safe, don't worry.
It is now just falling more or less unassisted.
This feels really fast.
Cody, did it go this fast when you were a kid?
No, definitely not. I would not have ridden it if I would not remember it so fondly if it went this
It just
fast.
seems like it's violating a lot of safety protocols. Seatbelts. And I'll push
Yeah,
it.
yeah. As you say seatbelts, and you see like sparks from one of the wheels, like starting to get misaligned from its track, like, and like it's like lighting the dark shaft hallway with just sparks coming out.
I'll pull it back a little bit. I'm like, okay, don't need to derail the cart.
And you can feel resistance. Resistance. Why is it not moving? And then snap.
Abigail!
Pull my head back in from the window. Her like medium length hair on top is just like windswept like straight back and holding. We are going so fast, guys.
Could you come look at this for me?
Yeah, what do you got?
I'll show you like the handle.
Oh.
So, what is your any hypotheses on this?
The piece that's still like in the mechanism.
Yeah.
Is there something grabbable there?
It's difficult. You can give it a go if you'd like. It's like a little, like the very stump of it, but you're like, it's like maybe like an inch. Like it's rough. It snapped kind of at the base. Like you can maybe try and grab that, but it's gonna be difficult. But you certainly try.
Gotta be like climber hands.
Is this the fall of the Shine Brigade?
Oh, shut up.
The literal fall.
The nuclear took him down.
It was me, Grandmaster Frown, disguised
As a vernacular. You should have been alerted. Why did Galvin keep repeating vernacular? We should have known something was suspicious.
Knew that smell was weird.
Yeah, so with that, I'm gonna start a little counter.
Okay.
As this thing is now just hurling more or less unassisted in a shaft down to the center of the planet.
I'm on it. Richard,
Yeah. You.
think we might need your grabbing vines.
Absolutely. With me though. I'm like point to you and like I'm up at the front of the cart already looking down, I think. Richard is going to jump out of the front of the cart and like put himself in between it. So he's sliding on the rails and trying to like push it back up. Vines start
It's like a
to
Superman.
Yeah, it's like the Spider-Man.
Vines literally as like they start wrapping around the vernacular, like trying to hold on to the rails, but they keep tearing and they just can't. It cannot seem to. It's not. The vines aren't strong enough to even start to slow this down.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I was gonna give you an opportunity to check, but I believe you.
Not what I had in mind, but all right, let's do it. Hardball.
That's why I need your assistance.
And I'm gonna like crack open the door on the side.
Yeah.
And just like jump out. And yeah, from inside the vernacular, you just see Abby jump out and then she's gone. And then looking backward, you see a flash of red light, and then like boom, she flies forward. And then there's these like little jets of red as she then like the vernacular catches up to her, and then she is in the air. These explosions of red light and fire coming off of her feet and getting condensed by these rings that are around her ankles, given to her by the Toymaker. And they are condensing it, slowing it down into this controlled jet that is pushing downward as she like braces her back of the body against the front of the vernacular.
Yeah, that's very cool. I love this.
So
Let's
we're-
check out with the dice.
First combo
So-
move. Let's go.
Combo move, let's go!
Yeah, guys, listeners, this is a Fredo introduction to a concept we will have later in combat called a cinematic round. There are action and then support, where a character can do an action that they think is meaningful, interesting, cool. They'll justify it with a skill check, and someone can have the opportunity they can support to roll a support check, and then the action support. So the action, they'll be rolling once, support rolls once. The result of the support can bolster the roll of the action, and then the action, whatever roll the action has with whatever support is added onto it, is the final result. So we'll be doing a version of this. The does not use HP, but in combat we have a version that has a set amount of damage, and I'll get into it later, but just giving you a little preview of what I call a cinematic round. So, with this being our first cinematic round, skill check for Vines Spider-Man.
If I could really quick too, Cody would like to cast guidance. I imagine in this moment, like the pain of your muscles, they ache, and like it pushes you on the verge of just like giving up because of it. So I am going to use blue shine to basically decay that pain sense in an effect. Like, I'm not gonna make it go away entirely because that can be dangerous, but I'm gonna like numb some of that pain so that you are able to kind of give your full concentration to it, which isn't a full supportive action, but just like that D4 of extra help.
Thank you.
And then I would say, so what would you say? Yours is probably in. Would it make sense to say athletics and acrobatics potentially? Monk?
I'm good with that.
Don't mind if I do.
I mean,
Yeah.
look, Abby's pretty strong. She can handle a lot. Acrobatics, athletics, whatever it is, my friend.
Fair. Do you get a maneuver initially? It's like a maneuver. You know, I don't want you guys rolling the same. It feels boring.
No, absolutely.
Even though
This
it really is two
acrobatics
athletics checks.
that she's like controlling. She's got these like jets of flame to
Yeah,
control.
that's
under
what
her
I'm
feet
thinking.
As she's like holding this thing back, so you know there's
Balance
stuff
in there, some
there's
mid
balance.
strength.
Exactly. She's using her core a lot. She's been using her core a lot these days.
Using your core on the way to the glue core.
All right, what are the results?
I got a 21.
21.
From the support roll.
Yes.
I rolled a mighty 6. Which is a mighty 15.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god.
So with the support success and with the complete success on the action, that is now elevated up to. You got a 21?
Mm-hmm.
Listeners, can you believe the first one is a profound success, baby? The highest tier with that. I mean, there's a reason why you guys are like the Shine Brigade is the best. Like, you know, there was a little bit of uncertainty coming into Cerulean, but you guys snap into action with practiced boys. You might not have practiced this specific maneuver, but you guys are a team. You know each other's strengths, you know each other's weaknesses. Barely a word has to pass between the two of you before you have this wonderfully synergized breaking maneuver without really any huge amount of difficulty or stumbling. Pop into action and funicular grinds to a slow pace.
Great job.
Yeah. Right back at you. See, I told you it'd be fun if we took this thing for a joyride.
Yeah, sure. And Richard looks over at Alyssa, assuming the handbrake is still in her hand.
I'm glad that we discovered that the brakes aren't working.
At least now we know.
The brakes are working fine. The handle, however. Just want to give credit where credit's due. I don't want the listeners walking away thinking that the engineers behind the funicular were possibly skimping on the actual brake mechanics. They worked fine, so listeners don't believe that. So
Can I cast a quick mending to stick it back in there?
yeah, you guys.
Yeah, now that it's not like going haywire and like
Yeah.
moving all over the place, I just put it back in and
Yeah.
and orange light and just kind of streams out of my hands. And it's almost like the little gears and all the mechanisms start jumping up and putting themselves back together for me.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of have to give it like a continuous mending because it just doesn't want to stay in place. But if you just kind of keep your hand on it, you just keep That was the one, that was their Achilles heel of their flawless vernacular, was the actual handle was poorly made. It was actually manufactured in Daffodil, so.
They outsourced
They
the handle.
outsourced the
tech.
handle. Foolish, wow.
Is that why they don't make things like they used to on Daffodil? Because it was all made on Cerulean?
Yeah, you guys, it's a slow ride. It's a long distance to get to the near center of the planet. It takes, at the slow pace you have, unless you want to punch it again.
Do we?
So badly, but we're not.
Yeah, second skill.
Science
Sounds
dictates that we will be more cautious now. We understand the limits of the funicular.
Yeah.
We've tested it, and so now we'll go the reasonable pace at the employees only level.
Yeah. One shudders to imagine what the children's speed could possibly be. If this is the employees' wild ride speed, dear God, how slow are these poor children going? Like, maybe it wasn't it breaking down. Maybe children were like starving to death or sheer out of boredom. They needed to be evacuated out. Jesus, must have been a long ride down to the center of the earth at this pace. Agonizing stuff. Don't even want to imagine the potty break situation.
There's no bathroom on this?
No, sir.
Oh no.
But with that, yeah, you guys slowly make your way.
Might have to relieve some yellow light on the way down.
Okay. All right. You tarnish yellow light. All right.
With that, yeah, you guys don't find any additional issues on the vernacular, and you make your way funicular. I'm picking up on it now. Funicular. Funiculars are fun. Funicular.
Oh, it's a fun.
It's a funicular.
Oh.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Now I have it though.
I just kept missing out.
Funicular.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't want to say anything. This seems
Yeah.
judgy. So I was like,
It was like vehicular, but not
Yeah.
vernacular, but not
yeah.
funicular because they're fun.
funicular.
We've all
I'm
learned
gonna
something.
remember
Your
this
word
word now.
is funicular.
So with that, you guys are able to just, you make your way slowly down. It takes like a series of hours. So you have kind of time to chat. Get your bearings a bit. It feels like you're, okay. The initial introduction into Cerulean was rough. You didn't exactly know where you were going to land on Cerulean. They weren't able to give a precise location. You hit the surface, which was a huge win, and you actually happened to get very close to this funicular, which was helpful, but, there was no steeling yourself. There was no preparing yourself. You just came with a mission of, I need to go to Cerulean, and I need to find Grandmaster Frown, and you carry on with your best intuition that it's most likely he's by the Gloom Core. It seems most probable. Entirely possible he's not there, but those feelings start to kind of wash away as you had a moment of going back into your old self, of being the Shine Brigade, of handling the unexpected, of making things happen, of just kicking butt when it seems like all hope is lost and you're teetering dangerously on an unbraked vernacular. An unbraked funicular going straight to the center of the earth. Handling that with poise. You feel like you're kind of back at yourself again. You're back at home. You're ready to roll. You're the Shine Brigade. You have this. And so you eventually make your way to the bottom of the shaft. And you see this, you are aware probably about 10 minutes before you actually get to the bottom that you're approaching the bottom, because this cavern has been completely unlit. But this leads into a very well lit chamber. The air here is unnaturally still. The lights cold, bright, leaving no room for shadows in the corner of the room. On the other side of this chamber, you see a series of carved marble steps that lead up to an archway. through which, as you have detect gloom and shine on Richard, you notice the concentration of just atmospheric gloom radiates through.
We're getting close.
Before we all go, form of yellow light, scintillating soul. Gonna cast bless, or actually aid. I'm gonna cast aid on everybody. Okay, let me make sure I know how to use this spell.
Yeah, I was like, bless only lasts for like a minute.
Yeah, but aid is like
okay.
like 8 hours. So I think I get to choose 3 targets in range. I'm gonna choose the 3 squishiest people. So I'm gonna pick Cody.
Bold of you.
Who are the 3 squishies?
Who are the
We're
3
all
squishies?
tanks.
I think
We're
it's
kind
probably
of
me.
It's
I cast
you.
8 on just me.
Yeah, right.
Probably
You, Alyssa, I have 150 health.
I have 155.
Oh my god.
I'm at a weakling 120.
108.
There you go.
So I guess 108 health, but then
Okay,
I'm
I'm
168
10
with
HP, yeah.
wild
I've
shape.
severely misinterpreted who's tanky. I'm gonna cast it on myself. I'm gonna cast it on Hellbore, and I'm gonna cast it on Evergreen. And I'm gonna do that at a 4th level. Why not?
All right.
So we get 20 HP, 20 temp HP each.
Heck yeah.
It's
Max health.
hit point max.
Oh, hit point
Yeah.
max, 20 hit point max each.
Otherwise, it would be completely useless to me.
Yeah.
True, actually.
Thanks for the aid. It does, yeah.
Okay,
I
that's
would remember
it.
aid. So with that, yeah, it's comforting to feel the familiar sensation of yellow shine in this oddly perfectly lit underground cavern that maybe leads to the gloom core.
Should we, is this the part where we slow down and take a sneaky look?
Yes, I would say so. Who's our scout out of this group, though?
Probably Abby, right?
I can wild shape.
I think
That's
Arthur
true.
would
That's
also be-
way
Okay, I mean that's pretty helpful.
Cody, do you think you can get a closer look real quick?
Yeah, just like before, right?
Yeah, just like before.
Cody like breathes in deep, and he just breathes in deep, and he's like, form of blue light, necrosis, and he like falls backwards. You've seen this do it before. It never gets any less ghastly as he like falls backwards, and kind of like this cloud of dust kind of goes up from him, and he turns into DM, if you're okay with it, like a horde of spiders, basically,
Oh.
and they'll all stick as like one core spider.
Yeah, okay,
unit.
perfect.
But like,
Yeah.
yeah, instead of just like one spider, it is, it is just a bunch of little spiders.
Yeah.
As like the natural necrosis of his body, he is basically temporarily advanced to a state where insects have devoured him. He becomes those insects.
That is incredible.
Yeah,
That's fucking cool.
and terrifying. This is why he doesn't. This is why Mission Phoenix. We don't let Cody talk anymore because he turns himself into a zombie sometimes. But yeah, and so this little swarm of spidery friends will head down into the tunnel.
Yeah. So, all the horde of spidery friends, you walk up, you crawl up the marble steps and through an archway that carries the hope of an entire people. You sneak in. Can I have you make a stealth check, please?
Yeah, what is spider's stealth?
Spiders.
stealth.
Because my dexterity is overridden by being a spider. Okay, yeah, I have a +4 to stealth.
Perfect.
That is a 13.
What do you mean?
I was just thinking. That's a number. So you...
It's a good number, right?
It's a good number. 13's a good number.
Very lucky. It's known to be a lucky number.
Infamously.
Yeah.
So you watch, you walk, you crawl, you sneak through the
Skulk?
archway. Skulk? Maybe. Skulk, yes. And you... No,
Ooh.
absolutely not. Please, be serious.
Skittle.
Skittle's also acceptable. So you skittle, but not scamper. It's different. You skittle in, and you see, as you cross through the archway, you see the beating heart of Cerulean. You see the gloom core. It sits beneath the bones of civilizations built upon civilizations built upon civilizations, remaining as the core, the one immutable truth of the world. It feels wrong, almost profane, to look upon this reliquary that carries the deepest truth of billions of your people. And the cavern surrounding this core, as you walk in, is immense. The walls are unnaturally smooth, just perfectly formed obsidian. 10 gloom crystals plunge into the central gloom core and then extend out past into the cavern, and then out past all the layers of soil and stone and mushroom and fungus and buildings and civilization and rot, all the way to the surface of Cerulean. The light from these crystals dances very level-headedly above the cavern wall as these crystals, you can hear, make this really almost imperceptible hum. You also see, situated at a catwalk which encircles the gloom core, a solitary figure, standing just sort of at attention.
Has the figure seemed to notice?
It's hard to tell, but they're facing the entrance.
I want to kind of... There's no shadow, right? It is all bright. There's nowhere to hide.
No.
Yeah. Okay, great. I think Cody, from experience, knows how squishy he is in this stealth form and kind of relies on darkness and walls and ceilings in order to keep himself protected. And so given that he's just completely out in the open, he's glad he didn't take the form of, like, Snowball or something.
Oh.
And he is going to return to the funicular. Because I wasn't able to get any good look on this figure, even in the brightness and the...
So for a point of order, so there's like a chamber connecting it, funicular bright chamber, and then the actual core itself, like it's mostly the light of the gloom. So there's actually, I guess there is a lot of light, but it's not like the blinding, like industrial light of this chamber. So it's, I would say, I guess it's kind of like, because there's so much to the actual core itself is fairly bright.
Yeah.
But
that's what I kind of been imagining.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
a snowy night where it's just the light pollution just kind of bathes everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yes. Yeah. I just was like, oh wait, I was scared I did not make that clear. I think that's an accurate read. So yeah.
Yeah, but given that I just don't feel like there's anywhere for me to really hide, I'm going to return. And it is just as uncomfortable watching me reform myself as it was watching me unform myself. I kind of like skitter back into my clothes, and then you just see these undulating shapes begin to take Cody's large furbolg form again. And he sits up and
I take notes, as I do every single time he does this.
Never gets any less jarring. But what did you see, Cody?
So the central gloom capacitor is intact. It is bright in there. You can just feel the energy in there. And then off on a balcony, I saw a single figure. Alone, I couldn't make out very well, and I was afraid to get closer. If I If I got trapped in there all alone, I was just filled with terror.
It was just one person by themselves.
That's all I saw.
That's kind of weird. You think he's expecting us at all?
Doesn't seem like it.
Did we get in here without him knowing?
It was looking.
Stealth isn't very much like us.
The figure was looking right at the entrance. I don't know that there's any way we could get in unmasked. I do have a fog cloud. I can create it using my shine magic. But that would only give us so much cover.
If there's no other way to get through, then we should at least enter the room safely. Rather than being caught in a chokehold like that. I think fog cloud would be great.
I could use an illusion to get us in as well. I'm sure the indigo light could create something to just mask our entrance until we get close enough. And my idea with this is I have silent image as a magic initiate. And just like in the doorway, like maybe a little bit in front of the doorway, because it's a 15 by 15 foot cube. So
Yeah.
just casting the image of the doorway itself in front of us, so as we walk up to it, he can't see us, you know?
Yeah.
It just looks like an empty hallway, and then we're right there.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Little Wile E. Coyote style.
Yeah, and then it falls forward and is
I
a
really like
cardboard set piece.
That's excellent, actually. I like that a lot.
And then after that, battle formation C?
Yes.
Okay.
Before we go in there, I want you all to know I love every single one of you with my whole heart. I would die for anyone here at the drop of a hat. And I know that any of you would do the same for any of us. Let's use that hope that Sunflower City gave us earlier. And let's defeat Grandmaster Frown. Alyssa, you ready?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Cody, can you have the fog cloud ready to go as soon as that drops?
Yep, you know it. I'm also going to prematurely cast Shillelagh on my shovel.
Let's shine together.
And shine forever.
And all shine on.
Shine on.
Shine on.
Shine on.
Shine on.
And with that, you make your way to the central gloom capacitor, the Shine Brigade. With your formation executed perfectly. You have a fog cloud and an illusory door archway leading you. You step up the marble steps through the archway into the majesty, frankly, of the central gloom capacitor. You find that there's 10 crystals within the core that plunge out of it. 4 out of the 10 crystals jut out from the core at the same y-axis, making a level cross-section of 4 equidistant crystals. So you can walk to a north, east, south, and west crystal. It's all in the same plane. There's a catwalk which encircles the outside of the core. It's about 15 feet in, it spreads out about 15 feet from the center of the core. So you can walk to those 4 crystals if we actually unleash the map.
Ooh.
I have a map, listeners. Can you believe it? We will be doing no moving of minifigures, but I lose track of crystals. So I have given the players a reference guide so we can all make sure we know we're talking about the same crystals, because I would inevitably get caught up on what... Not this crystal, but the left crystal, I would lose track of what is the left crystal. So I have given the players a west crystal. They entered in from the west. And then there's a north, east, and south crystal. There's 4 crystals that jut out, a catwalk that encircles them. And can you see through your illusion? Alyssa?
I don't think so with silent image, no.
Okay.
It is just, it's like, it's not a one-way mirror, I don't believe.
That sounds right to me as well. So what is your approach as you walk towards, you're walking into this incredible cavern, and it really just, it takes your breath away. I mean, to see something like this, it does feel like a privilege, but you are here on business. Like how do you approach kind of walking in knowing that you can't see in front of you?
I think the kind of idea is, so we have this illusion up, sort of get ready, get set. We're going off of the descriptions that Cody has for us. So which cardinal direction did Cody see Frown on?
He was more or less nearest the South Crystal on the catwalk.
Okay, so he's near the South Crystal. I think that, we as a group probably have done like a countdown before. Like, this is a maneuver we've done many times where it's like illusion lets us get close, burst in through the scene, and just kind of guns blazing the moment we get out there. So I think I'm looking to Richard for like, okay, give me a count.
Yeah.
And then I'm like just preparing my shine magic, I'm feeling like, we're on a different planet, so I think it might feel a little different or muted or something like that. I'm kind of, I don't know if I'm pushing through something to get to it or if it's the same as it's always been. But I'm just kind of settling my nerves and like, okay, indigo, orange, and like imagining those like strong emotions that are running through me, like the feelings I have for this team and the excitement I have for me and Abigail to get back. Like, we have some plans or something that we're really looking forward to. And then I'm imagining like that conversation I saw between Melanie and Smith, because even if they didn't really know that I was paying attention, I think Alyssa's always kind of paying attention to everything. Mm-hmm. And those moments mean a lot to her when she's just watching people go about their lives and love and be loved. And so I think with that, I kind of open my eyes, illusions up, and I look at Richard and I give him like a nod, like, okay, I'm ready. And I look around to the rest of the group to see if they're ready too.
As your eyes meet Richard, you're met with a look of determination. He nods at you, understanding. We're ready. He looks around to match the rest of his group.
Abigail nods back.
We've come too far to not be ready now. We have to be.
In, out, punch, punch, boom, boom. Easy.
Make sure we get enough time to get in front.
Okay. And then with a step, I think I usually do the entrance since I'm the tankiest person in the party, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So I'm like, orange and indigo, shine powers activate, fairy queen's might, and a mech suit just like appears around me, and it's made of these like orange and indigo interlocking crystals, almost like a lattice work chainmail. And it's like almost 15 feet tall, like towers in this doorway. And then I kind of like, stretch the joints in the hands, and the helmet comes up, and it's the shape of like a beautiful woman with like a queen's crown on her forehead and like flowing hair that's made of orange and indigo light. And I, kind of bounce on the heels of my feet a little bit, just feeling the mech suit out. It's something I've done 1,000 times before, and I get ready and I leap through that illusion, just like, okay, time's on.
You all feel your heartbeat betrays your determined faces. A moment of fear, a moment of doubt crosses each of your heart for just a moment. The anticipation of this. Maybe it's the sheer gravity, the sheer power of a gloom capacitor in front of you. Maybe it's the anticipation. Maybe it's this feeling that things have been way too easy. There's hesitation, but anyone watching would not have a clue. You are every picture, the heroic, the brave Shine Brigade as you leap through the illusion. On the other side, you see the figure, standing, neutrally, ready, unsurprised by this sudden appearance of the Shine Brigade. Do you do anything immediately upon seeing this man? Would you immediately try to accost any figure seen before you? Or would you attempt to talk?
Grandmaster Frown, we've come for you.
You see, this man, the somber Shatterkai, wears the full navy blue dress uniform of a Cerulean army commander and a polished ceremonial pickelhaube. That's a pointy hat, military pointy hat for listeners at home. His gray hair is cut pristinely compliant to all grooming regulations. A hateful scar runs across his left cheek into his upper lip. His posture, perfectly rigid, supernaturally natural to this man, remains firm, and he speaks as if he is unused to speaking aloud. Oh, you are the Shine Brigade. I was informed you would be arriving. I want you to understand that I bear none of you ill will. I bore nobody at the Stillwater riots, nor the Day of Darkness any ill will. I do only what I must do, and if blood must be spilled, I do not hesitate to spill blood. And you see as he balls his right hand into a fist and it begins to shake. Your leaders have brought me towards you. Your leaders have brought me children. Your leaders have brought me children. Children to kill. I take no pleasure in killing children. For my rebellion, but for my daughter, I will kill you. And I am, on my honor, as Grandmaster Frown, as Inoki Visporus, I am sorry. It will come to this. And he draws his saber. I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Oh my god, he's terrified.
Okay, with that, as Grandmaster Frown draws his sabers, I need to draw his initiative. And, okay, 19 to 15.
Ooh, now's my time. I'm a 19.
Okay.
17.
17.
17.
17.
17.
I imagine you might have a higher dex.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Alyssa, Abigail.
Girls Club.
Girls Club.
Girls go first.
Girls just want to have combat
Ladies
fun.
first,
All right,
my
15 to 10. What do you guys have?
7.
7? 5?
Guys, I don't think Richard is doing very well.
Leader bringing up the rear.
All right.
Lead from behind.
Richard is having a small panic attack. It's okay.
So with that, as he draws his saber, threatening to regret having to kill you, what do you do, Alyssa?
I'm not sure if you've noticed, Frown, but there's 5 of us and 1 of you. I'm not sure this will go how you think it will go today. And I start just like, I'll give him a chance. I'll say, surrender now, and you won't get hurt. Force our hand, and well, you'll see what the Shine Brigade can do.
Make a persuasion check.
Can I do intimidation?
Intimidation check, sure.
Natural 20. Fight over.
It's a nat 20. You have to respect
Yeah.
it.
Boy, I'm shaking in my boots over here.
Okay. That is a 17. That's pretty good. Pretty good.
I will give you full honors in your burial. I promise. I am sorry your leaders have done this to you. I am. And that is his response.
Abigail? Flower ball?
Flower ball.
And for my action, I'll pick up... Oh, is the intimidation check my action?
I would
guess-
say...
Are we having a cinematic intro moment?
Alright, you can have a cinematic intro.
Is it- well,
Come on, let me...
Let it not
No,
be
I mean-
said that I am not generous, as I proceed to not perhaps be the most generous.
As a bonus action and part of my giant barbarian, I will pick up Abigail next to me and throw her at Grandmaster Frown. So with this, as long as you're willing, I can throw you up to 30 feet.
How far away are we?
You're probably at this point about 20, 30-ish feet away, I'd say.
Sweet.
All right, sick.
And then Abigail's in the turn order after me, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, I think this is a practice move. I just like hold out both of my hands like the way that cheerleaders would almost, when they're getting ready to put you up on a tower. And as you jump into my arms, I just like flip you up and then just hurl you like a flower ball straight toward Grandmaster Frown.
Excellent. And then now it's, your turn, mid-air. Abigail, what are you doing?
Midair, flying toward Grandmaster Frown, she yells out, "Red Shine, Fire Fist!" And she bangs her fists together, and a gout of flame erupts from where they make contact. Immediately, she gets into her Shine transformation midair. This all happens in a flash, but in this beautiful moment of Red Shine, you see her leggings transform into these baggy red cargo pants that are cinched around the calves. You see her shirt on top transform into this like thin leather tight tank top almost that is full torso coverage. It starts red, the same as the pants, and transitions into a white as it crawls up her neck and hugs under her chin and around back by her ears. Her hair, fiery red already, gains glittering highlights, and her fists are covered in flame.
Alyssa's just sweating it out over here. Damn.
And I'm gonna do what I do best. I'm gonna get punching. So
Hell yeah.
I am going to. Ooh, yeah. Okay. I rush in. It's fists first, but this is a practice move. We know to follow up with the unexpected. She flips midair, bringing feet forward, and fire fills the air around her feet. She becomes this spinning disc of flame that then erupts forward in this great fiery kick. I'm going to use my Breath of the Dragon feature to take my first attack with 20-foot cone of fire damage.
Excellent stuff.
So they're going to need to make he's going to need to make a dex save. DC is 14.
So he rolls actually really well. He gets a 19.
Okay. So he still takes half damage.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So this gout of flame erupts as she's flying forward, dealing a cute little... That move is going to do a mighty 4 damage after it's halved.
Okay.
But that's fine.
Just a warning shot.
Yeah, this is the warning shot. This is the first one. It creates a lot of flash, a lot of flame. It's distracting. And she's going to follow it up by coming in, using a key point for a flurry of blows. After this flame kick, she actually makes contact with her fiery fists. So this is going to be first one is going to be a 24 to hit.
24 absolutely hits.
Cool. That's going to be... You know what? I'm going to roll the second attack as well before announcing the damage from the first one. Second attack is a 20 to hit.
20 hits.
All right, sick. So that first one, it comes in hard and fast. This fiery fist makes contact, doing 12 points of fire damage as it hits him straight in the shoulder area, and a gout of flame erupts in 4 directions, leaving a singed fist mark where it landed. And as she slows herself down after making contact, there's another low gut punch of flame, dealing another 12 fire damage. She then backs up 10 feet behind Frown, using her mobility,
Okay.
her excellent mobility, and this flash of the fire, the mobile feat for those at home, to evade any reaction that he might want to take. And she just kind of stops in like hero pose, almost skidding to a halt on this gloom crystal. Are you ready for the heat?
You can see that one of your fist marks, the polyester blend of his uniform is like, the heat of it is like the actual uniform is starting to kind of fuse into his skin because you've heated up a poly blend straight into his chest. And you can see as it just ripples and steams, ripples like his muscle and steams off him. You're kind of surprised. You were maybe expecting Grandmaster Frown to shake that off a bit.
Wait, what?
And with that, is that the end of your
I
turn?
wasn't.
Fair enough. Maybe others might.
You're a weakling.
Yeah, there you go.
It's just one guy. Nice hat, pointy boy.
And with that, Melanie, it's your turn.
Okay, Melanie Posey is going to pull out a dandelion, is going to blow on it, and then the dandelion bits cascade around her. And then in sort of the cutscene that the animators obviously have used like 60 times to save on costs, she begins spinning around in this beautiful array of scintillating yellow light. She's going to say, "Yellow light, compassionate heart!" And you see this beautiful thigh-length dress sort of sprout out where her old clothes used to be. Her hair becomes intertwined with just a dazzling array of flower bouquet, and this sort of whip materializes in her hand. She's going to say, "Frown, I believe that no person is beyond redemption, but you've hurt too many people. I'm sorry." And she is going to cast Guiding Bolt on Grandmaster
Excellent
Frown.
stuff.
I'm going to upcast that to level 4.
That's a good call.
That's only going to be a 12.
12 does not hit.
Yeah, so Melanie sort of puts the power of life into this bolt of energy. And sort of conversely, on the other edge of just normal life function, there's things like, cancers and like bacterium that are part of life, but also very damaging to other beings that exist. And she fires this off and it doesn't take effect, but
Yeah.
that's what she does.
Okay. Anything else you like to do on your turn?
That's going to be it for this turn.
All right. And with that, it's Grandmaster Frown's turn. And looking a bit worse for the wear after Abigail's warning shots, lunges forward to hit Abigail. As you're the closest one towards him, I would think. You see, just out of the corner of your eye. Actually, could you make a perception check for me?
Yeah, I can do that. It's going to be an 18.
18, excellent. So you see as his saber slashes and lunges forward towards you, this momentary, you see embedded in his hand some kind of crystal, a flash of something. It's hard to make out, but there's something inorganic, crystalline in the hand holding the saber, lunging at you. But you also have to contend with the fact that he is lunging towards you with the saber, so he is going to attempt to slash. And despite the fact that he seems fairly injured, he barely acknowledges his injuries. First attack is a 19 to hit.
19 to hit will indeed hit.
Okay.
He moves quick. Such an artifact.
15 points of slashing damage.
Okie doke.
And he, finding purchase, slashes again.
The initial strike feels like it makes purchase, but there's this like shimmering yellow light that it really cuts into that's like just above her skin that saves her from taking any damage.
Oh!
Wink.
Yes.
I may have been aided in this endeavor, one might say.
That's excellent. Inoki Vesporus, not realizing that he didn't make purchase tries to once again make a strike for that position, rolling this time a 9 to hit.
A 9 will not hit.
Yes. Now, trying to get the same location with the that was enchanted with the yellow light, he misses and just stays right next to you, uncomfortably, singularly focused on you, Abigail, who is in front of him. You can hear him breathing. He's moving, he's twitching, it doesn't seem right. He's focused. It's like he can't even hear anyone else. He's just looking at you. And that ends his turn. Cody, it's your turn.
I have how much distance to cover?
I would say you all were about like 30 feet from Grandmaster Frown, and he moved slightly up, so about 25 feet from Grandmaster Frown, I would say.
Excellent. For my action, Cody begins moving first slowly, and as he kind of, every step, his pace begins to pick up as before he's charging. And with each step, more and more of his shine outfit begins to take shape. Normally he is in these very bland browns and this gardening kind of clothes, work boots and a heavy coat and covered in mud. And as he channels his shine, form of blue light, decay, and the color just drains from his clothing. It doesn't even it just fades as if, all this time in decay has just hit his clothing and his hair and any piece of, he's a furbolg, so he has big furry ears and it all goes bone white, save for blue sparkles of almost like spores that kind of glitter across his body. Holding this great staff with a shovel head on top of it, he puts his hand over the head of the shovel and then sort of wipes his hand across the entire shovel, the body of the entire thing, and where his hand leaves, just leaves this glowing blue necrosis. That is going to be his wild shape. Symbiotic entity. Awakening spores infused with him, infused here in the core of Cerulean. Necrotic powers have always looked different on Daffodil. Death, decay, it takes a different shape there than it does here. This place that is so used to decay. He becomes more resilient. He becomes strengthened by all the decay and rot and ruin. I get 60 temp HP. And then I can use a reaction whenever a creature I see moves to a space within 10 feet of me or starts its turn there. So for his next turn, I've got a reaction. Yeah. For my bonus action, I think I said I cast it before, but I'm just going to cast Shillelagh again for funsies. So that is the action of enchanting this shovel, which normally Cody isn't a particularly strong person. He could, this shovel is still just a shovel in his hands. Yeah. But now infused with his dark necrotic magic, any hit from this shovel just tears and rends flesh. Yes. So that is his turn as he closes the distance between Frown and is now standing directly in front of his face.
All right. Your transformation is usually one that turns heads. Even the most hardened of criminals and ne'er-do-wells can't help but gawk. Or perhaps watch in horror, I think, is probably a better descriptor of your transformation. But Inoki doesn't even budge. So that is your turn. Richard, it is your turn.
Now, this is all some very odd behavior coming out of this guy, but fortunately, I don't think I'm close enough to really ascertain what's going on here. Richard is going to take his full movement across the West Crystal towards the catwalk. Okay. Then, I think actually, after seeing Melanie cast a guiding bolt and seen that not work, I think Richard is going to cast a guiding bolt of his own. Okay. But it looks very different, obviously, from Melanie's. Richard's guiding bolt is it is twisting vines as if it's almost like wrapping around a tree trunk, but it's going sideways and directly at Grandmaster Frown. As Richard Oak says, "Green light, assist us in these trying times." and vines are going to shoot out at Grandmaster Frown, hoping to embellish the next attack. And that is a 24 to hit.
24 hits.
Yo. Richard, don't mess around.
And that's a guiding bolt, too.
Guiding Bolt at first level is going to be
Messes around a little
46
bit.
radiant.
46,
He's messing
yeah.
around a little bit.
12 damage.
12 damage. 12 radiant damage?
Mm-hmm. As Richard sends this out and says this, Grandmaster Frown, there is one thing you said that I agree with. I will shed blood whenever it is necessary. There's one other thing, among many, that you said that I disagree with. And that's that I will enjoy taking you down. And that is Richard.
So, as the guiding bolt hits him square in the face, for a moment it looks like he's turning around to look at you, and you realize, wait, his face hasn't moved forward. His eye has just been dislodged out of its socket and is starting to look at you, but he otherwise is completely still focused on Abigail.
No, thank you.
This one's a little gory. Sorry, guys. Sorry, listeners. Give me some gory.
Oh my god.
And with that, is there anything else you're doing on that turn, Richard Oak?
No, that is his turn.
That is your turn. Okay. Alyssa, it is your turn, and also you do have advantage on the attack because of Guiding Bolt.
Nice job, Richard.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think Alyssa, all this is happening so fast. So, like, and this is, I feel like a practice volley, you know? Like, I throw in Abigail, and then, you know, Melanie comes in with Guiding Bolt to kind of, like, bolster up the rest of the party. And then you've got Cody in the back, like, getting ready to strike, giving him a little bit of a moment to set up. And then we've got Richard Oak with the Guiding Bolt, you know, seeing Melanie fail. It's kind of like this adapt on the fly. And then, like, all in this moment, like, once all this is happening, Alyssa's already been, like, leaping through the air toward this. And so I'm just going to take, like, a couple of running steps toward Grandmaster Frown. And as I do that, like, 2 batons, I just, like, whip them out of my, like, the kind of sleeves of the armor almost. Mm-hmm. And immediately launch into, like, an attack. And you just see, like, the batons light up. They go from just kind of this dull metallic color, and then as my hands close around them, you see tendrils of light, like, spiral up them. One of them indigo, the other one orange. Mm-hmm. And I'll take a strike at Grandmaster Frown.
Excellent.
And I'm gonna reckless attack here.
Yeah.
Just
Noted.
No regard for any. I know I can tank whatever he's got.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Okay, wow. That one. Wow. Okay, I got the same roll twice. That's an 11 to hit for the first one.
11 does not hit.
Okay, and then I'll take my second attack. Okay, and that one is a lot better. That is going to be a 28.
28 hits.
Ooh. And let me just check something really quickly. Because I think as a barbarian,
You get.
Yeah, you crit on a 19.
I crit on a 19.
Yeah.
So I crit with a 19.
Nice.
Okay, wow. So I'm about to roll a lot of damage dice here. I get 2d8 for my giant barbarian with my infused weapons with elemental magic. Mm-hmm. I get another d8 from the weapon damage. And then I get another d8 because it crit. And then I'm going to add 6 on top of whatever this is. 29 damage.
Nice.
Guys, I think
I
we
feel
got
like I
this.
did good, but the way Calvin is looking at me makes me think I did something wrong.
Guys, it's just a guy.
It's
just one guy.
a dude. Just a dude, and he's kind of going down pretty easy. Yeah, you hit him, and it is brutal. He attempts to kind of step out of the way, but it feels as if he's almost not used to moving quickly, not used to any of this. It's like he's almost like a marionette where the occasional quick movements he does, it's as if it's like muscles twitching when exposed to electricity, not a conscious choice of the body itself. So he tries to get out of the way, but you feel the snap of his left shoulder bones just break with the hit. And his left arm just goes limp. His face is covered in bruise. Even this big hit, though, he is still singularly focused on Abigail. Is that your turn?
I don't feel good. Yeah, I think on this I don't think Alyssa really wants to cause people damage like this. Obviously she wants to beat Frown, but part of her was expecting him to be more solid or move or have some kind of defense. And so I think taking this hit, it jars her when she just feels full contact.
Yeah.
And then afterward he doesn't even look at her. He doesn't even
look at her.
React to just his shoulder being smashed in. I think that Alyssa for the first time is what is going on here?
Oh man, the woman of the hour. Abigail, what are you gonna do?
Looking at Grandmaster Frown through all of this and just holding eye contact with him this whole time as his eye gets partially gouged, as his arm nearly gets ripped off. Abigail is at a deep unease, to say the least. She snaps out of it after seeing Alyssa get close and rolls her shoulders again. Get the hell back and step down, you marionette freak. And she goes and here's another 2 punches. We're doing some punching.
Excellent.
Punch.
Classic.
First one's gonna be a 16 to hit.
16 does not hit.
That first time, she's thrown off. She's expecting, still, despite not seeing it for the last few moments, she's expecting some movement to dodge or something, and she anticipates a movement that just doesn't come. She moves too far south and just punches the air around him. She does, however, follow up with another punch just to move his face, these eyes that have kept following her, with a 27 to hit.
27 hits.
That one's going to be another 12 fire damage.
12?
And then noticing his gaze come back and fix on her, she yells out, "I told you, stand down. Red shine, hard light kick." And she kicks forward, making an explosion of red light. And as she moves to make contact, does an 18 hit?
18 hits.
Okay, as she makes contact with this explosion that deals 6 fire damage, she launches backward into the air 30 feet and is propelled, hovering in the air by the rings, once again condensing her fiery explosions into consistent gouts of flame that keep her afloat. And as a last piece, as something to try to push him down, she gathers up flame in both hands, holding it, shaking, and then launching forward. 2 fists in his direction, unleashing a ray of condensed hot air toward him. And he's going to have to make Dex saving throw. DC's actually 15.
He makes an 18.
So I'll do half damage. It's okay. It's a little better than last time. That is 11, half that, in fire damage.
Fire damage noted.
She unleashes this ray toward him.
Yeah, Yeah, I think the first thing you contend with is the smell of and just the one side of his left face that was already hit up, just this horrible burned maw, straw, one side on the left side starting to detach from his face of it. His face looking gaunt, skeletal, straight at you. Is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn?
Abigail is uneasy. How big is this chamber?
This chamber is roughly. It's very big. I would say it's something like diameter wise. It's like 250 feet. Like it's big.
Okay, he's big. Cool. As his gaze comes to stare back at me, mouth drooping, pieces melting off. I've seen Cody do some weird, grotesque body horror shit, but at least there I was expecting it. This unaltered focus, unwavering, is throwing her off. It's uneasy energy, and without even thinking about it, she has drifted another 15 feet back up into the air.
Mobile, right? You have mobile feet, yes?
Yes. So she's,
Yeah.
to be clear, total footage, she should be like 45 feet back now, up into the air.
Okay. By the west crystal, by the north crystal, east crystal, or south crystal. I will lose track of you.
That is super fair. Just to make things harder. I mean, look,
Yeah.
Calvin, my guy, love ya. I am just here to make things easy for you.
Okay,
Which is
thank
why
you.
I'm so high up in the air and not on the plane that you drew on the map.
Perfect. That's fine. You're just very high, and I
We'll-
will remember that. Well, you will remember that,
We'll
and
say-
I will endeavor to remember that.
In a southerly direction.
In a southerly direction upwards, thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, listeners, I don't remember locations well. I have my little north-south map for the players. I need it or I will lose track. I do not have an amazing theater of the mind. Don't tell the players, though.
What was that?
Nothing.
Huh?
No, I
Huh?
was just saying I love theater of the mind.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
yeah, me
That
too.
adds up. He's
I
real
don't
good
draw
at
a battle map every single time we have a Shine campaign anything, because I need a battle map for myself. Okay, so you launch, like, seeing this was not the fight you wanted. I mean, you knew it was going to be easy. You knew you were going to win, right? What's so wrong with the victory? A victory should be good, right? But this is not right. Melanie, actually, no, I think it is Melanie's turn right now.
I think that there's a couple things that are going on inside of Melanie's head. The first is that in all of the Shine Brigade's time together, I don't think that they've ever killed somebody like this. At least not someone that like didn't fight back or didn't have a chance, right? And seeing this viscera and this slaughter has sort of shaken Melanie to her core. This in conjunction with the fact that Richard seems on board with this. He seems almost excited to do it. Melanie's noticed something off about Richard for a little while now, and for the first time in combat, without this beacon of leadership, Melanie doesn't know what to do, and she's gonna skip her turn.
Suddenly, your world rocked you. Focus on the fight, and you see your gaze kind of shift outwards to the environment. Can you please make me a perception check?
That's gonna be a 25.
Ooh. All right, with the 25, you start to lean back, looking around, unsure of even what to do, scared even to look at Grandmaster Frown right now. At the corner of your eye, you can't help but notice this very slight black thread. 5 very slight black threads coming out. puppet strings to Grandmaster Frown. These 5 strings seem to be attached to 5. Well, you can only see 2, but you presume it might be attached to other boxes you can see on the other side of the Shine core. 5 large rectangular boxes placed equidistant on the catwalks around the gloom core.
I think that Melanie just tries to process that, is just trying so desperately in this heightened state of mind, this thought loop to get control of herself. And she notices this, and it's like watching a disaster in slow motion. She's not going to say anything right now, but maybe if she can get her wits about her.
Absolutely. So now it is currently Grandmaster Frown's turn. It's
Cool.
currently Anoki Vispor's turn, actually.
Anoki needs to make a DC 18 Constitution saving throw
Oh,
as this like cloud of spores that just orbits Cody in this moment begins to try to like take apart.
Alright, so that's a 16.
Okay, cool. He takes 2d10 necrol.
why do you keep smiling when we
I
do
know,
damage?
sorry, listeners, you don't know that I smile every time it takes damage.
You're rooting for us.
I'm
the
rooting for
Shine
you guys. I'm so happy you're doing
That's
well.
why you look so evil when you smile, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
9
Because-
necrotic damage.
9 necrotic damage. Yeah, as it hits the limp left arm, which just dangles to his side. Can't even move it. You just notice as it's almost like he's reaching out. Oh, is he moving his finger? No, it's just his left hand just starting to slough off with that necrotic damage. Is there anything else you're doing with your turn?
That was just my reaction.
Oh, that was your reaction, right? That's just his reaction, right? It's Grandmaster Frown's turn.
Is there anything else you're doing with your turn?
There is something I would like to do with my turn. There is something that Inoki Visporas will be doing with his turn. Looking up, trying as best he can. His neck's not moving as limberly as he would like it to. Well, perhaps as one would like it to. He turns away, looks at the gloom capacitor, breaks your contact completely, and runs like a madman towards the central gloom capacitor. Is there anyone within 5 feet?
I already used my reaction.
It was just
I am
Richard.
within 5 feet.
Alright, so he is not attempting to disengage.
Alright, attack of opportunity. That's gonna be a 17.
Coins of Fate!
Oh! Coins
First you
of
said-
fate!
Coins of Fate! Coins of Fate!
And I'm on the player side this time.
How does it feel?
Alright.
Exhilarating.
Wait. Can you use my coin? I brought my own coin.
You brought your own special coin?
Yeah.
Who am I to deny you your own special coin?
Yeah.
Special coin.
I literally came prepared today just
Ooh.
in case.
All
Brought my
right.
lucky coin.
All right. Do you want me to flip it?
No, just no flip onto the palm, just whatever it lands on, that's what it is.
All right. Call it heads or tails.
I'll call it in the air.
I'm not good at flipping, so get ready. I put it up here. Fuck.
Was that the flip?
Don't make me do it. I'll do it again. What is it? What do you call it?
Tails.
Tails. It didn't actually flip right. It got stuck. Fuck. Okay, listeners,
It's
please. I'm
already
sorry.
tails.
Okay. But tails, we're keeping. Actually, I'm gonna tell you I'm flipping. You just have to trust me.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Tails. Again.
Okay. Tails! It was a tail!
Listeners at home, the flip looked like a fish out of water, like flopping off of deck and into the water.
It was like your dad trying to flip a pancake in the pan and showing up being like, watch what I can do, kiddo, and then he just drops
I
it
was
on
like,
the floor.
coins of fate, yeah. I'm like, oh no, coins of fate. Don't make me
That's
do
great.
it.
We need a coin flipping assistive device for next
Yeah.
time.
That's my greatest weakness. So, with that, against all odds, it connects. What is your attack?
All right. Let's see. What was the... I totally didn't look at the first one.
That was a 7-7-1.
771. Okay. Yeah, I just went straight into the second roll and like didn't
Okay.
check what I got on the first roll.
Noted.
Okay, so that is going to be 17 damage total.
17 damage total.
Wait, 18. Sorry.
18
Can't math.
damage total.
Plus the +3 from rage as well.
I get that on reaction too.
It's just
That is 20 damage total.
20 damage. 20 damage.
Big bang.
And I say, where do you think you're going, Frown?
Alright, with that, as you hit him, he's running, and smack, he just stumbles forward, collapsing, just with no sense of preservation, just bam, straight forward. I'm sorry, listeners, there might be some gore. Probably shouldn't play this one shot if you don't like gore. So he falls completely unassisted forward, and you see as this pool of blood just starts to just hemorrhage out of the floor, and then as if still possessed, he just tries going through, pool occasionally slipping on the wet surface of the blood beneath him. He just slowly makes his way towards the gloom core. Sword still in his one working hand. Other one not quite working so well. Leans up slightly, probably about 5 feet at this point from the gloom core. After dragging himself, one hand forward, one hand forward, slipping every now and then, brings up the saber. Finally, he looks at all of you. One side of his face sloughed down. He makes the closest approximation you can imagine to a smile as he says, I want you to suffer. And he impales himself through the chest with his saber.
What's happening?
And that's the end of his turn.
Melanie. What's he doing? Melanie, are you okay? I think I noticed that she froze for the first time as I'm turning around and like I look across the room and between me or right past looking through Frown, I see Melanie's face and I see that she hasn't even moved since this all began as I say that.
Alyssa, there's something really wrong here. I don't know what it is. Richard's not okay. The boxes, I don't know what's going on, but there's tendrils. I don't know.
What are you talking about? What boxes?
She's not gonna say
Yeah,
anymore.
as you look around, I mean, it wasn't something. When you first looked into this chamber, the first thing you didn't notice was like 5 largest, just like kind of unassuming boxes that blended in fairly well to the catwalk. I think the chief thing you were looking at were 10 massive gloom crystals, you know, in the very heart of the planet. But as you look around, yeah, there are these 5 black boxes. Probably, it's kind of hard to tell. It seems like some of them might be slightly different sizes, but they're all about 10 feet long and 3 feet wide. And perhaps about
Why does that sound like a coffin? Does that sound like
Sounds
a
a
coffin
lot like a
to
coffin.
anybody else?
Where are they?
Yeah, so you do notice them now.
What? Why are there boxes? Richard? What's going on?
I think Richard also at this point is struck by how crazy this situation is. And because he is a little bit further back than everybody else, he's a little bit more wide angled to see all of this. I don't know. Just keep going.
You guys can follow a turn order. I'm not sure it really matters that much right now.
I don't know what's happening there, but something's fucked. We should get away from that crystal. Alyssa, Melanie, I don't trust it.
Richard?
This isn't how it was supposed to go. I don't know what's happening.
Well, maybe if we just break these stupid boxes, then he won't be able to... And then I just leap up and I just try to smash one of the boxes.
As you do that, you leap up to smash one of the boxes. Where are you located? You're probably close to about the west crystal?
I am
you feel
actually
quite quick.
South Crystal,
South crystal?
directly near it, yeah.
Directly near it. And would you have taken the left or right?
I want to go to the one toward the West Crystal, toward Melanie. Between
Towards-
me and Melanie.
Melanie. Alright, yeah, as you smash this, you remember the Shine Brigade. Smashing a box is no real needed. And you smash through it, and it's... I don't know what substance you were anticipating. Maybe be a bit of a metal box, but it's a wooden box with something very squishy inside. It's noise and a small sound of something viscous off your mech suit fist. And you look up. It's an ichor. It's some black ichor on your fist. It's shards of bone. It's... What is this?
I think I just hold my hand up to the dim light, turning toward the gloom core. And like Lee said earlier, it's like snowfall and twilight, that reflective light that doesn't really brighten anything as much as it just gives you something to see by. And I turn my glove, and then I think I look back down at the coffin, and I peel back the lid
Yeah.
to see what's underneath.
Yes. And with that inside, I would have imagined, even though they were figures from a while ago, as members of the Shine Brigade, you would have known the faces of the previous Gloom Brigade who supposedly died 15 years ago. As you peel it back, you see the unmistakable face of Lydia Inkcap, previous supposedly dead Brigade. As you try to get your bearings, you look up at your fist and you realize, wait, this ichor, it's dripping wrong, and you realize as it drips off the fist, it's moving. It's coalescing. Wait, it's moving towards... Grandmaster Frown, what's happening here? What's happening? As you all look around, suddenly you see all the blood that on some of your hands and that litters the ground. You start to see as it begins to move and creep and coalesce towards the impaled form of Inoki. These screams 4 screams from boxes apart, from coffins. Let's call a spade. From the 4 other coffins, we hear screams, hopeless wails erupting from them. And suddenly, the impaled form of Anoki rises, connected now by 4 ethereal black lines to 4 coffins installed around the catwalk. The gloom core pulses of its a heart, trying to keep the system going, trying to keep a body alive, and it pulses and pulses. You see that it starts to fight this ichor that is erupting out of Anoki, that is drawing into it, that is overcoming this cavern. It corrupts and corrupts, finding harder to pulse and pulse and pulse until it turns to ichor and rot. A horrible backdrop to the impaled form of Anoki. The figure convulses, himself becoming enveloped in the dark ichor. Just as the last sight of Anoki disappears into the darkness, he violently rips his saber from his chest and points it towards the Shine Brigade, black ichor dripping off his blade. You will despair! Inoki Vespores is gone, and Grandmaster Frown has risen!